forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Green Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936.
Here's Jones on a keeper, out over the 40, to midfield. Matt Jones may take it to the house. And the dunk.
3-2 pitch. He struck him out. Got him looking. Hagen Smith has tied the school record with 17 strikeouts, but he's done it in 6 dominating innings. Peyton Holt in center field makes the catch. Runners don't try to score. Zonet's coming home. He throws to third. Sprague Lodge fires to the plate. They got him.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Well, it's starting to come down pretty hard now in Northwest Arkansas. Good morning. Welcome into halftime. We haven't done this in a while. It's been since Thursday. It's halftime. You're listening to ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. I'm Phil Elson, Matt Jones, Christian Johnston in studio. Good morning, guys. We haven't done this since Thursday. I mean, what's happened since then, aside from the idea that the state might be getting shut down for a couple of days with this snow and ice? You got the baseball team starting 4-0. You got men's basketball falling against Texas A&M over the weekend. We had a no-hitter thrown by one of the Arkansas softball pitchers, Robin Herron. We had an NBA All-Star game that I don't think anybody really liked, and it's snowing today. And we get to do radio for the first time since Thursday all together. How you guys doing? What you been up to?
Happy Tuesday. Yeah, Phil, I was telling Ty, I was like, I've worked here almost 3 years, and I've taken 3 days off total, and then I got 2 days off for baseball. So that was pretty neat. Got to see. I know I talked to you earlier about it, but got to watch Saturday Night Live, the 50th year. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I mean, it was a lot of fun on that one. Kind of like just a greatest hits album. Like they were just playing the hits. And then your boy, I know we left Thursday. I said, you know what? Maybe your boy Doug Gottlieb could get a conference win. Still 0 conference wins for your boy Doug.
So where LeBron went after him on Twitter yesterday. I don't pay attention to what Gottlieb's saying or tweeting very often, but I guess he, just like everybody at one point, had a public opinion about Bronny, and so LeBron's taking the opportunity to kick Gottlieb when he's down. I also saw, who was it? One of the two Celtic stars that he didn't really give a whole hug to.
Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum.
I think it was Jaylen Brown that might have said.
He's the more eccentric one that likes to go play chess, and he does he speaks at Harvard, does speaking engagement. He's a little bit different, yeah.
But I also think he had something to say about Bronny in the lead up to the draft, and so Bron's gonna back his son up no matter what. Well, I was still working. It didn't necessarily feel like work because broadcasting baseball never really feels like work, especially when the team played as well as they did. I didn't get my eyes on the basketball game, Matt, on Saturday because that was leading up to first pitch. It was right during the third game of the Washington State series. I don't know if I expected that Arkansas would go into A&M and pick up a victory, but I didn't expect that they would turn the ball over 17 times and kind of kick away a game where it looks like they might have had a chance to pull off I think a much-needed road upset, not even just to get into the tournament, because I think Arkansas, if you hold serve, you win your home games, I think you're going to get in. But I just want to feel like Arkansas can go somewhere once you get into that tournament. Now, admittedly, playing in the SEC is not the same right now as playing, a lot of the other teams that you may end up facing, even as an 11 seed in the first or second round. but I'm just not convinced right now that Arkansas can beat a lot of basketball teams that know how to win basketball games, and it's pretty much what you're facing once you get into the field of 68, which, by the way, now we're hearing it may end up turning into a field of 76 in just a couple of years. Who knows?
Every SEC team would get in. The thing that struck me, I mean, we started on a little 8-0 run, then they went a 9-0 run. Number 3's a beast, no question about it. I love Billy Richmond, 24. He just keeps getting better. They kind of had a plan to attack Big Z to make him work on the defensive end, and they had a good game plan, and they went out and executed it. The thing that's interesting, Phil, and this is all seriousness, Carter Knox is $1 million player. Billy Richmond's $1 million. So I'm starting to look at this roster. Where are you going to have? How much money are we? What do we have? $7 million this year? $8 million? That's what he had to spend. You start looking down to keep some of these guys. Man, it's going to be tough if you can. So I hope that we're able to keep some of these guys. But Carter Knox is somebody who's all he's done is gotten better since day one he stepped on campus, and I'm a believer in his game, man. I think his game's going to travel. I like the way he goes about it. Big Z could still be our best pro. I mean, he's best pro prospect. He has to bend a little bit more. Like when you get up to play defense, we throw the ball to the corner. It's go out there. No. Hey, make him shoot it. He doesn't want to shoot a jump shot. Be able to contest. Don't get up on. Just kind of learning how to play defense a little bit right there. But no, Carter Knox is a guy that I don't know what the value is, but I would, the Beckett Weekly or Beckett Monthly used to get, Phil. I know I used to do that too, but Carter Knox is trending up.
So that would be, sometime soon, once the season's over, there are conversations between players and coach. Maybe agents are involved in this too. I don't know, about what are we doing for next year. Let's talk about a raise, right? That's usually the word that would go into if you got a coach that takes a team far into whatever tournament, Sam Pittman wins 7 games, you end up winning a bowl game. There are going to be bonuses that go along with it, and also a request for a raise. You're going to get the same thing from players whose stock is rising at the same time. So certainly Billy Richmond, Carter Knox, they may end up being 2 of the more highly paid players on your team next year. Well, it's kind of where we start today on this Tuesday. I'm reminded by on the first text of the show, Seth and Rogers reminds me that I nearly bled to death during the first game on Friday, in the doubleheader. You ever have one of those things happen, Matt? You just sort of pick. I have this habit. I mean, I'm a serial knuckle cracker. I'm always fiddling around with my fingers and my hands, and so once I've cracked every knuckle 80,000 times, then it's time to start picking at the cuticles, and you find one of those tiny little flaps of skin by the thumb, and then you pull it off, and it's less than. I mean, it's a tiny little dot. It's less than it's smaller than a millimeter, but the thing bleeds for 3 hours straight and never stops. So I was trying to score a baseball game, call a baseball game. It's my right thumb. I can't do anything with my left hand. I'm trying to score a baseball game and call it at the same time while I'm holding down on the thumb, hoping the blood doesn't spurt all over the scorebook too, because that's gross. You just hear C Unit back in the Ed McMahon in the background there, who learned about Ed McMahon over the weekend too. Give a little laughter there, but I bled for 3 hours straight. I mean, it was just a tiny little drop here and there, but it was one of the weirder experiences, and that does remind me now that if we're going to the end of last baseball season, Matt, you remember, Bubba had hiccups for like a week straight. Now I had, nearly bled to death on the air. It just seems to me now that every weekend there's got to be some major health scare on the Razorback baseball broadcast.
It's a good omen. I mean, you got a little blood oath on the very first scorebook of game 1. I mean, what are you talking about? I see. I think the future's bright, man. That's what fairy tales are made of, right there.
I like that you're taking this in that direction because there is a little bit of blood in this
sealed
scorebook
in
here,
blood.
just a little
That's right.
block. Just a little bit of a drop.
You know how Bubba says he keeps his from the last games, Phil? I might need you to autograph the first one this year for me so I can have one just to remember what type of season this is going to be.
Do you want the bloody page signed for you?
Absolutely.
I mean, that might be a little bit extra. If we're putting bodily fluids on pieces of paper to sign to people, what do you need the actual autograph for? I mean, then you get the DNA signature too. I had maybe a couple of other school books that ended up with blood on it because as Bubba mentioned, and I don't know if I brought it up on the air the other day, but I can say it here because it's amongst friends. I've had a nosebleed problem my entire life. It's kind of gone away mostly in the last 20 years, but I kept track of those for I'd say the first 23 years of my life. I kept track of the nosebleeds. Like I had a count. I had over 1,500 of those suckers. So think of this though. It sounds to me, by the way, Matt, that C. Blood back there might faint.
McMahon, he's got it going on.
I've only had a couple games throughout my baseball career, and I think I've called close to 3,000 baseball games. There's just been 2 where I had a nosebleed and had to do the game like this, and it just doesn't sound right, and then the blood gets on the scoreboard. It was a little different with just a tiny little piece of thumb skin leading to about 3 straight hours of blood. But it was fun, and the team looked good, so that's right. If we're going to be superstitious about this, maybe I've got to start every baseball weekend with a bloody thumb.
It's just game one. It's sealed. It's sealed in blood now. You know, I got a birthday coming up. That might be a good birthday present for me. Now, is our best player, and hey, we can get into this all year. Is our shortstop? Is he our best player? Is he the number 1 prospect on this team?
He might be. He might be because I think the best prospects on this team right now are pitchers.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about field players and hitters, not pitchers, just the outfield.
Potentially
guys,
Vahiva, yes. I think the other guy that might be up at that level too would be Brent Iredale. Iredale's power is legit. Without the wind on Friday, I think he would have ended up with 4 home runs on the weekend instead of 2. And Vahiva's brother Kuhio hit 2 home runs as well. It does look like a good lineup. It looks like a great pitching staff that throws a ton of strikes with really good stuff. But, I don't want to put too much stock in the first 4 games. I do think Washington State will be good in their league, Mountain West, this year. But you got to get your eyes against some of the teams you're playing this weekend. TCU, K-State, Michigan. Michigan's playing really well. TCU's played really well over their first weekend. So, you can't base it off the first weekend, but I'll tell you, Matt, based off the first weekend, they looked really good. Really good. Gackle, Beidelshees, Root, and Wood. I mean, I'd hate to be Matt Hobbs and Dave Van Orden, just figure out who of those 4 guys is not going to be a starter on the weekends. And the thing is, too, is between the 2 guys that they're choosing between, Beidelshees and Wood, they've both been relief pitchers at some point in their career, too. Beidelshees closed games at Ohio State his freshman year. Wood's been a long reliever. He's closed games at Arkansas. So either one of those guys can also pitch either as a starter or in relief and do very well. So it was great to be back out at the park. It was fun sitting next to Bubba. It was great calling games again, and even the blood was kind of fun, too. Didn't mind that. Didn't mind that at all. Here's what we got for halftime on a Tuesday. Does this feel like a Tuesday? This feels like the weirdest day. There's snow coming down.
We're dreary outside.
Yeah, I mean we're expecting a foot of snow. Everybody else on our stations had a regular weekend. Even Chuck, he called the game Saturday. He was doing Chuck and Bo this morning. Morning Rush was on the air Friday for an extra 30 minutes too, just like they were yesterday, so we could move right into the baseball broadcast. Ruskin and Zach did their normal thing Friday and Monday. Just for us, it just feels weird. I don't know what to call this. Monday, Tuesday. A Monday-ish, Tuesday, whatever it is.
And you're right. So we got a new speaker box in here, or converter. So when we did the post-game show, I say we had the opportunity to do the post-game show. And
you were given the blessing of hosting post-game.
But no, so think about this. It made me think of if you're, when a singer or a guitar player pulls the earpiece out of their ear because they can't. So we had to do the show with no headphones. And so that was kind of goofy. That's the first time I've had to do that, which it's the sound, the optics. You can't hear if you're talking loud, and it was kind of weird.
But it all works a little bit better today in studio.
We got a new converter box over here.
Okay.
It's all
good.
crafty, yeah.
Well, we'll take your converter box as we go throughout halftime up until 2 o'clock as well, plus your calls and texts at 877-377-6963. We won't have any guests in hour number 1, so if you want to get with us, now's the time. We'll be talking in hour number 2 with Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation, who is back from Italy on her, I think, a 2-week trip. And we'll be talking with Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, at 1:15. There's some big meetings going on in New Orleans tomorrow between the SEC and the Big Ten, basically trying to figure out what the next college football playoff is going to look like, and they are not going to be getting any input, at least for the time being, from any of the other Division I football conferences. So it's basically a takeover of the college football playoff by the two big leagues, and we've been expecting this for a long time. So we'll get into that with Bill as well. After the break, though, we'll be talking Arkansas basketball and Arkansas baseball. I want to remind you about Joe's Grilling Cantina, already chipping away at 2025 with Joe's Chips and Salsa. It's made daily with Tex-Mex house-made salsa and with fresh veggies, even carrots. Make sure you try their sizzling fajita skillets and crunchy tacos on Tuesdays. Plus, Joe's greatest enchiladas. Homemade sauce is the best around. It's got a full bar and TVs. Joe's Grilling Cantina, great Tex-Mex with the best service, 3400 South 74th across from Harps. Joe's FortSmith.com as well. Stay with us. Halftime returns after this quick break.
His mama named him Clay. I'm going to call him Clay.
This is halftime.
His new glasses. It's like Clark Kent. This guy is dominating offensively. Dean, he's also a quality guy. We had more fun talking with him. He was a walk-on. Now he's an All-American. He also is brilliant.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Thanks for what?
New deals on last-minute holiday finds just dropped at Lowe's. Save $600 on a Whirlpool fingerprint-resistant stainless steel side-by-side refrigerator. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members save $50 on an Allen & Roth Brighton pull-down kitchen faucet. Your choice of finishes for $79. Lowe's knows deals. Offers valid 12/12 through 12/18 while supplies last. Selection varies by location. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Tomorrow will be today again, one at a time. You gotta go a little crazy just to go wrong. As far as I know, you've got me gone. The only legitimate one. In the light of the open young, a moment the moon, I'll make you come with joy and
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at Hit That Line AR and on Facebook and Instagram at Hit That Line. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
But this was a game that puts you in the NCAA tournament. You not know that? Are you not following stuff? Now, I haven't said that to them yet. And the reason I didn't say it before the game, I didn't want guys scared to death. You can't. But I'm going to tell them now, we got to get one of these. And then we're in.
There you go. And I agree with this. You get one of those games on the road, A&M, Auburn, you're in. You're in. I mean, unless you lose the rest of your games, but still your metrics will be at a point where you'd be in with a victory at A&M. You'll be in with a win tomorrow at Auburn. And if that's what it's about, if it's about getting to the tournament, man, these are really, really important games not to just hang around in, but to win. And then there isn't as much pressure on the upcoming home games with Missouri and Texas. And then you're not going on the road to South Carolina. Well, you lose at South Carolina, now all bets are off. But it's a lost opportunity, Matt, because I don't think A&M played their best. Now, they have a lot to do with why Arkansas turned the ball over 17 times, but I saw some of those highlights. I also saw some careless turnovers, players just not ready for a pass when it was coming their way. Look, Arkansas took 11 fewer shots. They turned the ball over 7 more times than A&M. The percentages are about equal. Rebounds aren't too different. Second chance points weren't an issue for Arkansas. There was really no other issue as far as that's concerned except for the turnovers, and A&M turning it into a 22-7 edge off of turnovers, Matt. So there's been an aspect of this team that you have hit on from the very start. They have not been a sloppy offensive team. It's just not been a team that's been able to put the ball in the rim very well, and they were a little bit sloppy Saturday in a game where they didn't need to be.
It was 48-48 at the under 8 timeout in the second half. So they were in it, man. That's the one thing about this Hog team is they fought. And that's what A&M does. They want to muck it up. They want to be physical. They want to make it be like a football game. That's why I think Billy Richmond played more minutes. That's what impressed me about Carter Knox. But Billy needs to just settle down a little. He gets a little sped up, but he's a freshman. Making freshmen. I still like. But that's what A&M. It's like it's a lot of body shots in a heavyweight match, and then the head of fall, but just keep hitting the body. You got to bring a lunch pail when you're going to play A&M because that's just the way they play. And we didn't back down. The one thing we keep talking about your boy Nelly Davis. It's like, bro, when the time is now. It's time to quit being fool's gold, just to quit being a practice player. Like let's step it up. Those players that they can go hit 10 in a row in practice, or they can go do this in practice. Like everybody's like, well, he practices good, and then they get to the game and they can't do it. That's fool's gold, and that's kind of how he's been this year.
Well, and you thought that he was coming around after putting up 24 against Texas, and it had been 3 games in a row where he'd been shooting well, he'd been getting to the rim, and playing his regular, really good defense. But the last 3 games has been, kind of what you were seeing for the entire season, with the exception of that 3-game stretch against Oklahoma, Kentucky.
He still gives it to us on the defensive end, Phil. You can't knock the kid for playing defense. I mean, he gives you effort. He knows how to play defense, and he's our guy that's supposed to be our volume shooter. And it's kind of tough when you keep going 1 of 7 from if he hits 2 more threes that are open, man, it's a totally different game.
That's right. He's at 31.7% from behind the arc this year, Matt. And the worst percentage in Nelly's career from deep was his first season at FAU. He only took 26 threes that year and shot 23%.
And I just care about his conference. I don't care about his out of conference. I just care about whatever his SEC conference shooting percentage is. It's kind of like when we're talking about Arkansas playing UAPB. They scored on they scored on 10 straight. But let's look at competition about teams that are going to the tournament, teams that when it matters, teams that when you talk about pitchers having stress-free innings, and then making them stressful to really get to them. That's kind of what you're seeing right there.
268 3-point percentage in the SEC.
There you go.
And only 2 for his last 14 over the previous 3 games. And I mean that was missing a little bit in the game against Alabama. You lost that game by 4 points. And
I think if Billy
if
Billy could settle down a little bit and because he plays good defense but can kind of distribute, and Wagner's doing that. That's who could get some of Nelly's minutes is if Billy if he keeps growing at the rate he's growing.
Well, I also feel if you've got any prayer to beat Auburn and Mizzou as well as they've been playing to beat them at home, Davis has to be a scorer and defend as well. That's understood. But then this also goes to the idea that you may be seeing fewer minutes right now for Adou Thiero because Cal is talking about playing Z and Jonas Adou on the floor at the same time.
Maybe playing him and Z together. That's big. I might have to do that, and then, Adou, you're not playing today because you're not giving us enough.
I would not have thought it would have come to that with Adou Thiero, who has, I think been very solid all year long. But you need more from him offensively, and I think if you're going to have Z and Adou on the court at the same time, you're going with a completely different philosophy of how you're going to try to beat teams now. Now you got two twin towers out there. Now one of them, we've even talked how it looks like Z has improved his defense over maybe the first month and a half of SEC play, but he got abused by A&M. And, what are we going to see against Auburn tomorrow trying to defend Janai Broome? So you need something from Adou. It's just, you're not getting anything offensively from him. So there's a little bit of a 6 1/2 dozen the other to this idea, Matt. And I also just expect that you do need Thiero as much energy as he's brought this season. Thiero is still the leading scorer on the ball club. So for him to not play very much, for a team that's really struggling to score, it's a difficult, I think, predicament that Cal and this team find themselves in.
I'll believe it when I see it. Adou Thiero's playing 30 minutes. So even if he doesn't start, you have the ability. Carter Knox plays big. Are you going to play him at the 3? He's kind of a 4, but you if there's foul trouble or whatever, but I'll believe it when I see it. Thiero's a G, man. I like his game. I like his intensity. I like his fight. I like his hunger. There's so much you like you're saying. I don't think that helps this team if he's not playing 30 minutes a game.
And I didn't think it would too, but you can see.
But hey, Coach knows more than I do. You're going to trust Coach to come up with a game plan and figure it out.
Well, to me, he seems frustrated. When he says this.
And I got to figure out, excuse my French.
There you go. You got to figure this crap out. That to me sounds like somebody who's just kind of a little frustrated because I think, but just get into his mind for a moment here. You really going to have Thiero sit? He's just saying this in a moment in a post-game interview with Matt Zimmerman. So that's still in the what I think you could call the cool-down period. I'd be so surprised if Adu is not playing his normal 30 minutes. But then how do you get Adu and Z on the court at the same time with 6'7" or 6'8" Adu Thero? So I don't know who it is that sits at that point, because I want Adu out there.
Yeah, I wonder who we start on Broome, and it's not necessarily that's how they run their offense, Auburn does, and they come in waves, and it's not necessarily who's guarding him, but it's where's your help at. And so I get the idea of having two bigs on there. But then you got to look at which I think the last two games, Phil, he's looked more springy, he's looked more spry, he's had a little bit more bounce in his step. So he's got that going for him, but still he hasn't played 25 minutes in over a month. I don't know how long his legs will last.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow, man. 8 o'clock tip against the Auburn Tigers, and that's a team that won the biggest basketball game potentially in regular season history in the SEC on Saturday against Alabama, on the road at Alabama with game day there and everything. I'd not realized there had never been a number 1 versus number 2 basketball game in the regular season in the SEC. So that was as big as it gets. I guess you got to hope, just like I was hoping a little, because the women's basketball team flies out tomorrow to South Carolina. I was hoping that South Carolina might just be, beaten up and just content after a win over UConn on Sunday, but then they ended up losing for the first time at home in 71 games and got their doors blown off of them by UConn. So now I'm just even more nervous going into Columbia Thursday night. And I was hoping that Auburn would just, kind of maybe be looking past Arkansas because they just come off this huge win. But the way Pearl's got them playing right now, and you're going into that building, I mean, that's their chance to kind of celebrate with everybody together a win over hated Alabama. I just don't expect that that's going to happen tomorrow night. Hogs are going to have to play their best game in years to win tomorrow night. Who's to say it doesn't happen? But it would be a big surprise. You win it, you're in. Just don't lose to South Carolina. You lose it, you still have plenty to play for. Plenty to play for. I just want to feel like Arkansas can pull off a major upset when, if you end up going to the first 4, I mean, how early are you going to play a potential SEC team? Second, third round? I know that there's a potential second round matchup now that they can do.
Quality is what you're talking about. Yeah.
I want to feel that Arkansas, if it has nothing to do with backing up your coach in Lexington like they did with the Kentucky game, that you can go out and beat a team that's playing very good basketball right now, and I haven't seen it yet. I saw it against Kentucky. Kentucky's kind of been up and down since then. LSU is not good. Texas is okay. So a win over Mizzou, I see that would be the kind of win I'm talking about. But first things first, play tomorrow night, see what happens. Halftime is brought to you by the Stadium Shop. They are on Razorback right next to Baum. You got baseball season right now getting kicked off. Softball's gotten going. Gymnastics, and towards the end of basketball season, you got to make sure you get everything you need for every Razorback season, and they have it all at the Stadium Shop right now. It doesn't get any more Razorback than the Stadium Shop. Robert, Elizabeth, and Matt are local, family, alumni, and they've owned and operated the Stadium Shop since it started. 479 Stadium, shop on Razorback.com, and make sure they know ESPN sent you. Get with us on halftime at 877-377-6963. We'll have more on Arkansas baseball right after the break.
We couldn't do diddly poo offensively.
This is halftime.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's #1 mobile app for placing sports wagers.
In Arkansas, 7 out of every $10 placed on a sporting bet app is with Bet Saracen, because Bet Saracen offers more ways to win and more ways to get paid, and faster. Find your winners on Bet Saracen and look for my R prop bet specials. I pick them and you win them.
Bet Saracen is Arkansas's favorite sports wagering app.
Gambling problem? Call 800-522-4700.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work. That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Joe's Grill and Cantina is already chipping away at 2025 with Joe's Chips and Salsa. Made with Tex-Mex house-made salsa. Made daily with fresh veggies, even carrots. Try their sizzling fajitas and crunchy tacos. Every Tuesday, it's Taco Tuesday. Joe's has great enchiladas with homemade sauce. It's the best around. Plus a full bar and TVs all around the restaurant. The best Tex-Mex and even better service at Joe's Grill and Cantina. 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Central Hydraulic in Fort Smith, the work doesn't just stop when the temperature drops. We're your go-to service provider. Be sure to prep your machine and stay ahead of the frost and costly damage. Still using summer oil? Winter-friendly oil is the weapon your machine needs. Be sure to get an oil change. Check your hydraulic fluid, fuel prep, and battery check. For all these services needed in the cold weather months, come see Central Hydraulic for all your hydraulic needs at 6104 Highway 271 South or call at 479-646-0571. Central Hydraulic, your service provider.
Hi, everybody. Larry Rath here from Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, where all we do is keep you rolling. If you're looking for the best used car your money can buy, check out our great selection of road-ready certified vehicles with warranty. If you're trading or selling your car, let us give you a free second opinion and leave with a check in your hand. If you're keeping the car you have, let us take care of it for you in the Meineke Car Care Center. Plus, follow us on Facebook for special offers and fun contests. All the happiest drivers are rolling with Rath. Rath Auto Resources and the Meineke Car Care Center, Fort Smith.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
When second's making a play, short's got to cover.
A winning insurance strategy doesn't rely on one person.
Good hustle, good hustle. Communicate with your guys and make sure everyone's in the right coverage.
It takes a team that knows its roles well, working together to provide an exceptional experience.
Set the screen. You have to protect yourself.
At Shelter Insurance, you can count on our local agents and award-winning customer service to help you protect what matters most.
Call Randy Milam in Alma or Brandon Zimmerman in Barley.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Secret I cannot say. They might have known that. Give it away. You got something that I understand. Hold it in tightly. God on command. Leap of faith. Do you doubt? Cut you in. I just cut you out.
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Here's the 1-0. Hartman hits a high fly to short center. Avalan can come on. Still coming on. He's having trouble with this one. Justin Thomas is there. The catch made by Aloy. And coming in from third, Northrop, Aloy throws home. And the tag by Helfrich for an inning-ending double play. Wow. Spectacular play by the Heba Aloy at shortstop. That's with a little pop fly into short center that would usually on a day without any wind would be a routine play for Davalon. We might have seen Matt Jones, the play of the year, in the first game of the year by your boy, Vahiva Aloy.
I like him. You know, I'm a fan of his. And you can tell, Phil, when Bubba, all he does is say, wow. I think that tells you how good of a play that was.
That's right. It was perfect analysis, truthfully, because that's what everybody thought. Wow. 20-mile-an-hour winds. You get a guy in Davalon who's still learning how to play center field. He played a lot of second base and some center field at Florida Gulf Coast last year. Justin Thomas is also learning how to play left field. Now, there is a major difference between playing center field and left field. So they're both learning that position. As one of those pop flies that should be a very easy play, even in wind like that. But I just don't think those guys are very used to those positions. Aloy. And I was remember what he looked like and how uncomfortable he appeared a year before on opening day in like 38-degree temperatures where he had that face mask on, and you could just see a slit of his eyes, and that was it. You know, he still had the face mask on. It was still cold, not quite that cold, but he looked comfortable. He looked like he belongs, and never panicked on this play. It's really an amazing play to throw a ball, which I think was about 130, 140 feet, falling backwards on a pirouette, one hop to the plate, and then the frame of mind for Helfrich, who was really smart on this play, to not wait for the ball to get to him. He steps in front of the plate, one hand catches it, and did a swipe tag like a shortstop. And that's the play that kept Arkansas down a run in the 10th inning in a game that they very well should have lost, and they end up winning into the 10th with 2 runs without a base hit. And then the rest of the series from that point on, I think they might have been a little bit tight in that first game. You know, you had a lot of these guys who were making their Razorback debuts, not college baseball debuts, but Razorback debuts. And I thought they played a lot free and easier over the following 3 games, which included a 14-2 beating of the same team 30 minutes after Aloy made that play. But the pitching staff is going to be, look, the starters all went 5 innings. Gackle, Beidelshees, Root, Wood combined for 20 innings. They allowed in those 20 innings 15 base runners. They walked only 4. They struck out 29, 9 base hits, and most of them were singles except for 3 extras, and nothing went over the fence. Really didn't allow much that was hit very hard either. This is a very deep starting rotation, and I know there's a lot of fans, if not all of them, that are just going to take it with a grain of salt as of now, and I don't blame you. But I'll tell you, I do think that this starting rotation, the way that it's built, and the fact that there's really 4 of them, and maybe 5 or 6 starters, if anybody gets hurt or anybody starts faltering, I might have said something about it last year, but things fell apart, and there weren't those pitchers to step into those roles. This has a chance to be potentially one of the best, if not the best, starting rotation that they've had under Dave Van Horn, which is saying something. It's one weekend, so you can't make any decisions on this, but the stuff is there. They are really good competitors, and if they continue to pitch the way they did this last weekend, they're going to win a lot of games. Now, admittedly, Washington State had a lot of guys that we didn't know anything about coming from junior college or Division I schools in case of, I think, of a couple of their players that we saw where they didn't really play very much last year. I think that'll be a decent Mountain West team. And we'll see this weekend because you get K-State that's struggling on Friday, TCU playing really well on Saturday, and then Michigan on Sunday is 4-0. And that's a team Arkansas had trouble with last year, winning a game that they should have lost in Arlington. Of course, K-State and TCU have been the teams that have had the most to do with Arkansas being knocked out of their home regional in the previous 2 years. So it is a step up in competition from this past weekend. But I'd also anticipate that the starting pitching might be just as good. Who knows? 877-377-6963. If you got any baseball questions, anything you want to hit on.
Who are you most excited about? So you're saying it's K-State, TCU, and Michigan and Arlington. Who's the best team out of those 3, and who are you? Is there a player that like you're excited to watch on one of those teams?
Well, it's probably TCU more than anybody that is out of those teams. I like the Big 12 more than the Big 10, and they've got a left-handed pitcher that we had a lot of trouble with. I wonder how they're going to use him because 2 years ago Ben Abel came out of the bullpen and picked up the victory in the game that they beat Arkansas, and beat them really, really badly. They don't have a lot of hitters left from the team that. They just couldn't stop from scoring in the 23 season. Remember, Arkansas played TCU in 23 in Arlington. I think they gave up 18 runs. And then in the Fayetteville Regional, the 2 games, they scored no fewer than I think it was 14 in any of those games. They don't have a lot of those hitters left. So
was it Trey Richardson? If I still remember, he's still
that's the guy.
That name's in. I think he had 4 bombs in those 2 days. You couldn't get him out.
Yeah, and he was drafted into Pro Bowl that year. It's the same with K-State. It's not the same group that beat Arkansas last year. Not even close to being the same group. They returned 5 position players. Just a couple of them were in the lineup last year. And they do have some of the pitchers that we saw last season, but not many of the hitters. And they also have a 1-2 record. So, yeah, Seth also points out that Washington State may win a bunt tournament at some point. At least they got to practice their bunt defense over the weekend. They had a guy, the number 9 hitter, Matt, Cole Watterson. I think he batted 9th every game, so he would have at least had 12 plate appearances. I think out of those 12 plate appearances, he attempted a bunt on every single one of them. So they just play a different style of baseball. And they tried yesterday in the Monday game to try to small ball the Hogs to death. I think out of the first 6 batters, 3 of them laid down a bunt. Out of the first 9 batters, 5 of them tried to lay down a bunt, and nothing really worked for them very much. And then the Hogs go on to beat them 12-2. I wonder if there may be a switch in the batting order at some point. Charles Davilon's batting leadoff as of now. I really like Justin Thomas Jr., who's from Savannah, Georgia. He was at Georgia his first year. I think he was 3 for 29 his first season at Georgia. Limited action. Started Florida Southwest State junior college ball last year. Dave's got him batting 9th and playing left field. I'm going to guess Thomas has never batted 9th in his life and has probably not played left field very much either. So he's learning. It's not that you got to learn how to be a 9 hitter. It's just sometimes it can be you got to swallow your pride if you're just not used to being the last hitter in the order. But Dave views that 9 hole differently than I think a lot of other coaches do in terms of it being a secondary leadoff guy. And it's not that Davilon isn't getting on base. He is getting on base. Thomas he was on base. He took, I think it was 5 walks, more like 7 walks over the weekend. And, he hit a little bit, but he goes deep into the count. I like that at the top of the batting order. And I wonder, too, if there may be at some point, because Davilon's learning center, Thomas is learning left. There's those little intricacies about playing those 2 positions that are different. Center field so often is just about getting a good jump and utilizing your God-given speed and being a take-charge kind of an outfielder. You're the captain of the outfield. You're telling the left fielder or the right fielder if you're going to catch the ball that he thinks he's about to catch. You're not judging whether or not that fielder is going to catch it. You tell him. You take charge. And I don't think Davilon has done that very much. So that's what you got to do as a center fielder. Left field is different because the ball travels in left field much differently than it does in the center. You get spin off the ball towards left from a lefty or a righty. It'll hook from a right-handed batter. It might slice from a left-handed batter. It's just a lot different than playing center field. Different angles, different throws. And that's something that Thomas is learning too. So I think there could be a chance at some point, if Davilon doesn't become that take-charge center fielder, that he could end up learning left field instead, and Thomas, who's been a center fielder, may end up getting to center. But the fact that Davilon is there, I think, tells you that he's the guy that is cemented in the starting lineup for right now. Thomas, not necessarily, even though he was in the lineup all 4 games. But as the way he played, and I think not the way he played left field, it's the way he ran the bases, it's how he got on base. It's going to be tough right now to take Justin Thomas out of the lineup. And another position that I'm wondering about is second base, because Nolan Souza just looked like he had some of the same issues from last year in terms of pitch recognition and swinging at the pitch that the opponent wants you to swing at and not the pitch that you're going up thinking you're going to hunt for. And Cam Kozel, he hit the ball over the weekend and went up with a plan and stuck with the plan. So those are just two positions to look at as we go throughout this first month of the season. Brought to you by Crabtree RV Center in Alma. They've been serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas for 75 years and counting, giving each buyer and their family the best RV purchasing experience. From choosing the right RV to personalized financing to a top-of-the-line parts and service department. And you're always going to be working with a top-of-the-line sales and service team. Even if it's cold outside right now, now's the time to let Crabtree RV get your summer planning started early with a purchase of an RV from Crabtree. They're at the junction of I-40 and I-49 in Alma and online at crabtreerv.com. Stay with us. Quick break, and we'll wrap up the first hour in just a moment.
Lighten up, Francis.
This is halftime.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Get your yard game ready with Ego, the #1 rated brand in cordless outdoor power. Ego has nearly 200,000 5-star reviews from homeowners like you. Ego delivers the power of gas, but without the noise, fuss, or fumes. Best of all, Ego 56-volt arc lithium batteries are universal, so they fit all 90 tools. Power your yard, power your tailgate, power your life. Learn more at egopowerplus.com.
Here's to you and yours from the friendly folks at In Good Spirits, your upscale liquor store in Fort Smith. At In Good Spirits, they've got what your taste buds are craving, including flavorful wines from around the world, scrumptious brandies and liqueurs, tempting whiskeys and beers, and fine cigars. Treat yourself to the best as you listen to the game. Check out In Good Spirits, 12100 Highway 71 South, across from Riley Farms in Fort Smith.
New season, new faces, new stories. The anticipation is through the roof. NFL Plus Premium gives you more access to the sport you love. Watch future NFL stars take the field and never miss a moment of live football action this season. With live out-of-market preseason games on mobile and TV, game replays, NFL Network, and more, all in one place. Sign up today at plus.nfl.com. Subscription required for NFL Plus.
Doctors, nurses, and other medical professionals are just people. They've got their lives and families same as you and me. But what happens when big hospitals and insurance companies ask too much of them and make them work too many hours without enough help? You can only stretch something so far before it breaks and people get hurt or even die. That's where I come in. If the healthcare system in our area has hurt you or someone you love, call me. Together, let's make them do healthcare better. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-777-1225. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-777-1225. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-777-1225. 800-777-1225 or biglou.com.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
7 hours and 13 days to your love. I go out every night and sleep all day to your love. Since you've been gone, I can do whatever I want. I can see whoever I choose.
Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Wrapping up hour number one with a reminder, we're going to be at the Arkansas Children's Northwest Magic and Miracles Radiothon this Friday. It's at the hospital. All the shows on ESPN Arkansas will be live on location. Matt will be there. I'm going to be in, hopefully my flight will have arrived by then in DFW, and I'll be able to set up in Globe Life Field before Arkansas takes on Kansas State. That should be just before TCU and Michigan get started in that ball game. Also, we're raising funds in the lead up to the Magic and Miracles Radiothon at hitthatline.com. Want to raise funds and support for Arkansas Children's Northwest's next round of expansion. Just go to hitthatline.com. You see the link at the top of the page. Click it, and then you'll see our shows. Click on the halftime link and donate there. And we appreciate you helping us raise funds for the next round of expansion at one of the best resources in our entire listening area, Arkansas Children's Northwest. 877-377-6963, our number for calls and texts as we go throughout halftime today. We've done a lot on Arkansas basketball, a little bit on Arkansas baseball. You get Big Ten SEC meetings tomorrow in New Orleans, Matt. It looks like the two big leagues in college football are about ready to engineer a I think you could use the term hostile takeover of college football. We do start to learn when you pay attention to how the NCAA controls the championships, the tournaments, and we call the NCAA basically a championship organization. They're an organization that's built to hold tournaments and championships. If you are the organization that controls the tournament, well, then maybe you're the organization that controls the whole sport. Looks like the SEC and the Big Ten may be engineering a takeover of the sport of college football, not just the playoff. These two things end up going together. And we'll have a lot more coming up after the break in hour number 2. Stay with us.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
Man, I wish I knew you were here. We hear that every day at In Stock Parts, located off Highway 45 across from the cold storage in Fort Smith. Are you a maintenance technician, landscaper, farmer, or do-it-yourselfer in need of bearings, belts, or roller chain? Or safety supplies like gloves, safety glasses, or earplugs? Maybe you need drill bits, tap and die sets, lubricants, or even a gas-powered pump or generator. Don't waste your time driving around. Stop by In Stock Parts, your industrial parts resource, or check them out online at InStockParts.com. In Stock Parts.
Are you an angler having trouble finding all the bait, tackle, and more for your fishing needs? Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, now located in Fort Smith next to Witz Marine on North 11th Street, is your place. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle also has the largest selection of plastics in the River Valley. Reactor Innovation, Bobby Garland, Zoom, Mega Bass, and more. Check out the Daiwa Rod and Reels. Make a Wake Bait and Tackle, 803 North 11th Street in Fort Smith, 479-926-9320. Also get your rod and reels repaired. Come see us next to Witz Marine at Make a Wake Bait and Tackle.
Jen has ordered a decadent seafood tower, king crab legs, lobster tails, and a waterfall of caviar. Pricey? You bet. But Jen worked with Empower on her savings and investment strategy and planned for splurges like these. She got good at money, so she can be a little bad. Ooh, champagne. Empower. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
Past performance is not indicative of future returns. Investing involves risk. You may lose money. Advisory services are provided for a fee by Empower Advisory Group, LLC, EAG, a registered investment advisor with the Securities and Exchange Commission. OMG, those shrimps are really jumbo.
The Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app, fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, big winter storm moving on through today into Wednesday. We could see anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of snow, like glazing of ice north, and about 1 to 2 inches of snow and sleet, about 1/10 of an inch of ice south. We will see the snow increasing in intensity today, our high this afternoon into the upper 20s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forest Grain Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Fight like hell for the University of Arkansas the entire time that I'm the head coach.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
You got a good one today. You got a team in here that could respect it. If I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad, we showed them at halftime.
What they were one Razorback.
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Welcome back in. It's 1 minute after 12 o'clock, officially the afternoon. Not like you'd know it by walking outside. You're not going to be seeing the sun for the rest of the day throughout most of our listening audience. Phil Elson live in Fayetteville, where it is currently snowing. I wouldn't call it a blizzard or a whiteout, not yet, but it's going to be an all-day-long thing. Cars are still rushing around outside. Please be safe out there. Let's not turn this into a pile-up anywhere around the state. Matt Jones, Kristen Johnston in our ESPN Arkansas studios. Guys, outside my window, we got plenty of snow. What's outside your window?
You know, it's just hazy, cloudy, overcast, a little drizzle. It's really it kind of stopped, I guess, about 30, 45 minutes on my way into work. There was people doing what you were saying, that they were driving crazy and the weather was getting bad, but it's kind of let up here.
Started to watch on Sunday a really cool show. I think you'd enjoy this one too, Matt. It's on Max, Winning Time. It's about the
Showtime Lakers?
It's about the Showtime Lakers, that's right. It's really funny, for one, and everybody's a character of themselves on that show. Every last one of them. But it's got your boy John C. Reilly as Jerry Buss. The guy who's playing Magic Johnson, Quincy Isaiah, has now made me believe that he really is Magic Johnson. He's pretty good at this, too. It's a fun show. And it gives you really gives you a sense, too, I think, of inside Jerry West's mind about how much losing he had done to the Celtics all throughout his life and how Dr. Buss coming in and drafting Magic kind of changed it all. Plus, I like the period pieces. Anything that's going to take you from 79 into 80. And I almost think, Matt, like I'm watching a basketball version of Boogie Nights.
Oh,
even with some of the other stuff that went on in Boogie Nights too, you get a little bit of that theme going through Winning Time as well.
Yeah, it's like when you're watching a Carson episode from '76. It is totally different than watching one from '83. They've had this Mad Men going on. I don't know if you've ever seen Donald Draper and what he's been doing on Madison Avenue up there in Manhattan in the '60s, but he's definitely setting an example.
It's quite an era, right? Was it the 2 martini lunch? Or is it the 3 martini lunch?
It's like that's all they do. It's like every time they do anything, it's like, well, we got to pour us a drink.
This feels like a different version of Wolf of Wall Street, just 30, 40 years before that.
Smoking their clove cigarillos.
Yes, and very specific plans about what you have to do a couple times a day, which might include halftime, calling us or listening, 877-377-6963. Here's Charlie. Charlie, what the heck have you been doing with yourself at 12 o'clock in the afternoon Friday and Monday when we've been starting baseball games and there's been no halftime?
And have you seen either Mad Men or Winning Time?
I've seen Winning Time. And I will say, Phil, I was just about to comment on this. This has really been tough for me the last few days. I mean, I know Matt's been able to hibernate and C Unit's been hibernating over there, but you've been out here working your butt off up there with Bubba. Called a heck of a series, it was great to see. And I tell you, Phil, that first game, that play Aloy made, the over-the-shoulder whatever catch he made and then turned and zipped it to home plate. I mean, if they don't show that play all year, it's one of the top plays. They've lost their mind.
Charlie, it might be. I think it might be the play of the year in Game 1 for Arkansas, and for the first weekend, I think to me it looked like it might have been the best play in college baseball for the first weekend.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is like he almost kind of threw it blindly, in a sense, like he had no choice because he knew what was happening, just the awareness and kind of where he was, and he was able to throw it in there accurately. And I was, it's crazy. I think he saved that game for us. I don't know if we win that game down 2. I'm not saying we don't, but it just felt like that play gave us an almost boost because we struggled Game 1. By the way, for anybody already commenting on the hitting and crap, do you people realize this was not baseball weather over the weekend? These guys were playing.
Hold on. Charlie, wait a minute. They hit 314.
Exactly.
They scored 34 runs in 4 games.
Yeah.
So it was that first game, you got to give credit to pitchers sometimes, and those pitchers had a sense of what they were doing, and but I also think that there were some jitters involved in it. Yeah, and like, all right, if we're going to look at the 4-0 start and be like, well, I'll take some of it with a grain of salt because it's 4 games. Can we look at any negativity from the weekend too with the same grains of salt? Because there's just not that much negativity, truthfully. But if you're going to look at it from one aspect of, all right, I'll wait and see, well, then be patient. With any of your criticisms, wait and see, right?
That's what I'm thinking. And these are people that I love that are Arkansas people. And I'm like, dude, it's Game 1. I mean, come on. We got a long season. And like you said, they wound up over the weekend batting .314 and scoring 34 runs. And, it's not easy either. Like, people think, okay, pitching is hard in cold weather. I would expect, and you tell me if I'm wrong, Phil, it's not easy to be in the batter's box with that type of weather either. I mean, because, it's just not. And by the way, that catcher, and I think Dave commented on this, he had a cannon on him. He was throwing us out at second. I think there will be more opportunities for us to steal this year. I think we got some guys who can run. That might be one of the better catchers they see this year. And I wanted to talk about that too, Phil, because you got Ryder, and then you got the guy that stepped in there the other day and played
Dave
well.
Becker.
Is there any – because this is what's going to be really tough for Dave, and I love this. When you have a team like this and you're trying to fill your lineup out, and you can kind of put people wherever, but the same with Aloy's brother. Now, I think with Aloy's brother, he right now doesn't have any position he can play, correct? That's what Dave
It's not
said.
that no, I think he could play outfield. It's just that he may not play outfield here until potentially next year. Now, I think he may end up just being a DH right now, but he can play the outfield, and I've seen him try a little bit of first base.
Yeah, and that's my thing too, Phil. Like with this team, like I feel like you can play matchups. This might be as far as top to bottom because you got so many pieces, whether you got left versus right or whatever. You can play matchups as much as any team that we've had in years. I don't remember when. That's what my thing is with the hitting. I think we do have guys, and I loved how Thomas batted for us. And he got on base multiple times, just drawing walks. Dude could lead off for us. So anyway, I enjoyed watching it. I thought they played well, and I don't think Washington State sucks. They got a new team. They got to figure it out too. So I enjoyed the weekend. Ready to continue to watch them keep playing. They're going to get better.
Charlie, give me a thought on the basketball game from Saturday too. That was, to me, felt like a game that, what was it? It was tied at the under 8 media timeout in the second half.
50 to 50.
Matt, it's not like you have to win that game. It's like you don't just get so many opportunities for a winnable game on the road against a team that's in the selection committee's top 16 right now, and you don't get another one until after tomorrow. So that to me made Saturday really important.
It did, but at the same time, if I'm not mistaken, Lenardi still got us right there. But it was a big opportunity missed. But I do think that.
But Charlie, isn't it independent of just the tournament? You get into the tournament, that's fine. You want to win games in the tournament. And at that point, you're not playing teams like LSU. You're playing teams that are winning games. I want to go into the tournament feeling like that this team can beat good teams.
Absolutely. I mean, you're right about that. I mean, but I mean, I think this, you got to continue to tinker with some things. Jonas Adu, his pick and roll defense the other day, really did a great job. So you might try to put him and Z out there together some. And we'll see. But I thought he's starting to come on for us. Jonas Adu is, defensively especially. Anyways, y'all have a good one. Stay safe in this weather.
Okay, I appreciate that, Charlie. Thank you.
Did he have Ezekiel 3:14? The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Is that how he started it?
Have you been saying that to guys?
3:14? No, it's 25:7. It's not. For some reason, I thought that was. It's a different one. Oh, it's Jules Winfield was all that was going through my mind when he said 3:14.
I can't help it either. I really can't. But so the committee released their top 16 rankings 3 days ago, and it's Auburn, Alabama, Duke, Florida, Tennessee, A&M, the top 6. That's 5 SEC teams there, by the way, and you lost to all of them that you played. You haven't played Auburn yet. Kentucky's in the top 10. They're number 10. Michigan's number 14. So there are a couple of teams Arkansas has beaten that have the resume to beat top 16 according to the committee. Now take the AP and coaches' rankings and ball them up and throw them in the garbage for the remainder of the year. Those rankings matter about as much as the snow falling outside right now and you're indoors. These things have nothing to do with anything. The AP poll, the coaches poll are meaningless now. It's just this poll. It's the same as the college football playoff. This is the poll that matters. You beat the teams that are in the top 16. You've lost to Alabama. You've lost to Florida, lost to Tennessee, lost to A&M. You've beaten Kentucky. You've beaten Michigan. That's 6 of the top 16 that Arkansas has played. Auburn's the last one that you're going to play. That's 7 of the top 16. Not quite half, but pretty close to it. If you beat 2 of the top 16 teams and then find a way to beat, I think, Missouri, Carolina, and beat Texas at home, you're probably in. Now, you beat Missouri, I may start thinking you can win a couple of games in the tournament. You beat Missouri and Texas, I would start to say the same thing. Those 2 teams may end up being in that tournament. But it can't just be, Matt, about making the tournament. It has to be about winning games when you're there. And I still am not 100% bought in that they'll win games if they get there.
No, it's kind of losing the allure of saying, hey, we made the tournament. They're letting 100 and something teams into this NCAA tournament now. I mean, it really is ridiculous. It's almost like you don't even have to go and earn it. It's just the fact that you're an SEC team or a a bigger type of team, you get in. But hey, they have an opportunity. I still think, Phil, I think 7-11 gets them in. However way we want to slice it and dice it, I think 7-11 gets us in. We're at 4, right? And we have 3 home games left. You get to go. I mean, South Carolina and Vanderbilt, are those not winnable games? So I mean, this is our last toughest test, I guess. And then they're still tough, but can you win? Can you win 3 of your last 5? That's kind of where it's at. Can you win 3 of your last 5 with playing one team that's the worst team in the conference, and then you get 3 home games? So you kind of got to like our chances to get to 7, I think.
Maybe this is also a year where a couple of wins in Nashville helps you out just because of the overall strength of the league. I've always said, and I truly believe this, you don't make the tournament based upon what you do in your league tournament unless you win it. The SEC tournament this year may be a little bit different just because of the overall strength of the league. We'll be talking with Alyssa Orange from Pig Trail Nation in just a moment. Want to remind you about the Rebel Crawfish. It's been a tackle box staple for decades, but now you get ready for the next generation. It's the matte series of Rebel Crawfish. 4 all-new ultra matte colors, eliminating glare and enhancing realism. It mimics a natural crawfish like never before. It has the same iconic shape and swimming action, but now with a stunning matte finish. It's the all-new matte series of Rebel Crawfish. Find today at Walmart, Bass Pro, Dick's, and local tackle shops everywhere. Rebel, catch fish anywhere. Pig Trail Nation's Alyssa Orange has been in Italy for the last couple of weeks. She's back stateside with us. She's on halftime right after this.
Pain don't hurt. This is halftime.
I tell you what, I know this. Got a lot of guys with some big hearts. For 3 hours or however long, maybe 4 hours, we're the best team in the country today. And it's offense, defense, and special teams. It's some guys like Darren McFadden, baby. Y'all better put him in the Heisman.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth. Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Van. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, full deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Thanks for watching.
Something amazing is happening at work. Innovative tools are helping people do better work.
That's because CDW configuration specialists are multiplying productivity with Microsoft Windows 11 Pro Surface devices. Built-in security, flexibility, and simplified management streamline tasks so your team can get more done. Microsoft and CDW make amazing happen. Learn more at cdw.com/surface.
Courtside with Fort Smith Public Schools. Coaches take you inside on what's going on in Fort Smith sports.
I think the boys program, we definitely thrive off the energy and the emotion. I think as a coach, it's a big thing to kind of just help those guys rein that in, myself included. You know, there's times we have to take a step back, take a breath during a timeout, and just sit there and breathe.
New episode every week on the Hit That Line podcast network and on hitthatline.com. The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss.
Well, I knocked to a window to leave her a note. Will you call me at the back of the grove? All the trees were in bloom. That sweet smell in the air. We were trembling together. We were young, we were scared, yeah. True love, goodbye. I can see it, yeah. Blossom, there.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Great day to be with you here on Halftime. We're just happy to be back on the air after not having a show since Thursday. It's like I'm not good with the with not doing shows on a 4-day basis, but at least we had baseball. We haven't talked with Alyssa Orange in like 3 weeks. Alyssa from Pig Trail Nation back here on Halftime. She's giggling back there because she was out in Italy for a couple of weeks having the time of her life. Italy or France,
Yeah.
which was more fun, Alyssa?
Oh, God, that's really tough. I don't know why you got to throw that at me right off the bat. I loved Paris. It was beautiful. Italy was a different kind of beautiful because we bounced around to so many cities, but I think I liked Paris more than I liked Milan.
But this was a working vacation, right? It's not like you just
Yeah.
were sightseeing or everything. This is all about the Winter Olympics next year. So you get to go back a year from now, Miss World Traveler.
Yeah, it should be fun. It was kind of cool to see, you know, where the venues stand right now, a year out, and they've started putting up signage and getting both of Cortina and Milan ready for these games in a year. So.
Are they building? Go ahead, Matt. Yeah.
Well, it's still talking about the Italy and France. Which place had better food, though? Which place did you enjoy eating?
So I ate a lot of pasta and pizza, obviously, in Italy. Man, I think I enjoyed my the food in Italy. I think because I ate more at like restaurants. With Paris, we ate at a few restaurants before the Olympic Games, but then during the games, I was eating like the media food at the NBC Center or at the facility. So I didn't really get to eat a ton out at other places. But Italy was good. It took me a few days to kind of navigate the menus and figure out exactly what I was ordering. And once I kind of got it down, I was like, okay, this means pepperoni. That's what I want. And there were some very interesting things on the menus as well. We went to this one restaurant in Verona that had horse on the menu. Which opened up a giant conversation with the Italians that were with us for the week.
I think I read somewhere, I might have even seen this on a food show at one point. I think it was in Italy. There's some kind of cheese that you eat it with maggots inside of it. I'm not joking.
Ugh.
Literally,
I've seen that on one of those travel shows. Yeah,
inside the cheese, and the enzyme that they use to digest the cheese is supposed to help flavor it. And I can't think of anything more disgusting.
Oh no, that sounds terrible. That's right up there with horse.
We just got to plan for eating that a year.
I don't eat dog meat.
No. Not planning for that. No.
So what's it like coming back here? I mean, you know, are people following Razorback sports while you're out there? I mean, we had basketball, we had baseball going on.
Yeah.
What have you found yourself landing in when you came back home?
Yeah, just trying to keep up and figure out what was going on. No, I was able to watch on my flight over. Gotta love in-flight Wi-Fi somewhere in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, watching their game against Texas. And then I did not stay up to watch the game that they had earlier in the week, and then I caught a little bit of the end of the A&M game on my way back. So I did at least get to see a little bit while I was gone, but baseball was what I really jumped into because I hadn't seen anything when I got back, and so I watched a little bit on Sunday and then caught a little bit on Monday.
So give me your thought on what you saw from baseball. And it's difficult to, you don't want to make final decisions on what you think about anybody after just 4 games, but first 4 games, they look pretty good.
They did. And gosh, I don't really know if my small sample size is enough to have any kind of opinion. I just was happy that baseball's back, and that we get to enjoy baseball for the next couple of months, as basketball kind of winds down a little bit. It was just really good to see them win all 4 games, and I know that sounds a little silly, but even like JMU was able to get that 4th game a year ago, and for them to just come out and take care of business and play, I think the way that a lot of people expected them to play. You've heard some complaining about the offense, and we're 4 games in. That seems a little silly to me. But I'm excited to see them play Kansas State, TCU, and Michigan this upcoming weekend because I think it'll be a little bit better of an idea of okay, this is exactly, I think, what we're going to get from this team.
In terms of basketball, so much of the conversation is about getting to the tournament. And I guess at this point of the year that makes sense. I just am still not really convinced that Arkansas is a team that knows how to win games against other teams that also know how to win games. I thought the win over Kentucky, I thought that said a lot about how they feel about Cal. The win over Texas, I feel, was to show that was not a fluke. LSU beating them at home, to me, just says you beat a really bad team. Do you think this is a team that if they get into the tournament, that they can make some noise?
I always think if they get into the tournament, no matter what, no matter when and what year, it's all about the path that you're dealt. And I think you can look back and say, man, that was a pretty good path for Arkansas. That was really tough, being able to have to face, the North Carolinas in that second round. And a couple of times, remember those years where they got knocked out by, North Carolina a couple of years ago when Mike Anderson was still here. I really think that it's just about how that path looks for them. Can they win a handful of games and then all of a sudden they're going on a little bit of a run? Or is it just going to be they win 1 game and then they're out the second week or the second round? So I just don't even know if they get there. And that's where my biggest concern is can they still do enough to warrant a bid into the NCAA tournament? And I'm just still on the fence right now.
Yeah, I think if they can get 7-11, they earn their way in there. One of the questions I got, Alyssa, is with Carter Knox really coming on, it kind of makes me think of Braylon Russell. That's $1 million player. We're start thinking about next year and keeping guys on this team. I mean, he is playing himself into a big time deal. I think the same with Billy Richmond. I think he's getting better as well. But the flashes they're showing, then you got to start kind of divvying up the pie again to where it's going to go and who do you keep on this team?
Yeah, I think you make a really good point, Matt. When the season is over, sometimes the biggest recruiting you're going to have to do is the guys who are already on your roster. And we saw that a little bit with Braylon Russell. Now, I do think that we can't put Carter Knox and Braylon Russell into the same category because I think just maybe some logistical outside issues were a part of Braylon Russell's back and forth, and I don't think, knock on wood, Carter Knox has that same kind of outside opinions being brought in, but I have no idea. But yeah, I think you look and you say, okay, who am I willing to pay to keep around? And I think Carter Knox and Billy Richmond are two of those guys that you put at the top of your list and say we have to keep them as a foundation, as a holdover for next season, and you do what you can to keep those guys first before you then go back into the transfer portal and find more people.
Yeah, I know, because you start evaluating talent, and you say, well, who's going to be a better pro? Who's going to be the better college player when you're talking about Big Z or Carter? You know, what kind of, how does the game fit? What do you think about Coach coming out saying that he might go big again? I don't know what hell. We got to hit shots against Auburn, but starting 9 and Big Z together.
I say, why not? You know, I really do think at this point, we've said it before, that you just got to try to see if anything is working right now, if anything kind of gives you a little bit of a spark, gives you a different kind of energy in the way that Big Z is playing. I understand, how can we keep him on the court? What kind of people around him can we put out there to complement him as well? So I don't hate it. I like it. I like the fact that still, I get that we've still got 6 games left, and they're still making tweaks. They're still making adjustments. They're still just trying to figure out what works. It shows me that this team is still fighting for an NCAA tournament bid and hasn't just thrown their hands up and go through the motions.
Well, we're talking now to Pete Thamel's reporting that the NCAA wants to expand the men's tournament, which means you would expand the women's tournament to 76 teams and add another 8, which I think would mean doing a whole nother first 4. Now you're at a place where if you're getting 13 SEC teams into the tournament this year, are we going to be in a place where 4 SEC wins is enough to get in? You know, I don't think you're ever going to get every single team from this league in, but if you open up 8 more spots, who are you opening it up for? Are you opening it up for mid-majors that have a great season but don't win their conference tournament? Are you opening it up for 4 and 14 teams in the Big Ten, though, right? I mean, who are you opening it up for? Because the tournament so often is about the small teams and the little guy who find a way to win games. I don't think people want to watch, you know, essentially mediocre basketball teams within their league make some run, do they?
Well, I think that's the argument you make anytime you want to open things up. I think with the college football playoffs, it was the same thing. Like, do you need more teams? Does the NCAA tournament need more teams? And for basketball, I just don't think that it does. I think it's fine the way that it is. And it's almost, you still have to be able to earn a spot, right? And I'm not trying to say that, you know, you can win only 4 games in the SEC and be a good team. You can. I mean, I think you look at South Carolina, who has not won a conference game, but they've been very, very close to winning games. I don't think they're a bad basketball team. The SEC is tough, but you still got to win games. I don't understand why we need to open it up and add more teams. And then I think you start to get a little bit dicey with who's in and who's out. And like, now you turn into the argument of, does a 4-win SEC team better than a mid-major conference team that, again, won the regular season, maybe even went undefeated in the regular season conference, but didn't win the tournament? Like, who's the better basketball team?
Yeah,
and then you're just getting nitpicking and splitting hairs there. Right.
You've had programs, you've had more programs join Division I since the last time that the tournament expanded. And so the idea would be, well, have the same percentage at least of teams that are Division I members that can make the tournament as you did the last time you expanded. But I also know you're not expanding the tournament for Utah Tech. You're not expanding the tournament for Houston Baptist. You're not expanding the tournament for the Little Rock Trojans. You're expanding the tournament for Iowa. You're expanding the tournament for not Oregon State, because they're in the Mountain West now. You know, you're expanding it for the big teams. You're
expanding the tournament for that Texas A&M team that went on a run late a few years ago and probably should have gotten an NCAA bid and did not. But you're expanding it for.
Right. Yeah, and then you end up with a team that's got, close to a 500 winning percentage that's in, and you get a team that had maybe an 80% winning percentage that is out. So anyway, it's all these changes in college sports, and we can just have opinions about them because they're not asking us what we think about this.
Exactly.
Alyssa, always appreciate you hopping on with us. Looking forward to doing it again next week, and glad you're home.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys. Always a good time.
Big Trail Nation Sports Director Alyssa Orange with us each Tuesday on Halftime. I want to tell you about the Clay Maxey Auto Group. They have a promise, and have always had this promise of providing a level of service at every step in your car ownership experience that will maximize your drive. Competitive, transparent pricing. They have reliable, consistent repairs from factory-trained technicians and always go beyond the sale to ensure a seamless, enjoyable, and tailored experience fitting your vehicle needs. Clay Maxey Auto Group also believes in serving their hometown communities through local partnerships, events, and programs. You'll find them in Harrison, Mountain Home, Clinton, or Berryville, and anytime online at ClayMaxeyAutoGroup.com. Give them the opportunity to maximize your drive today. You can get with us on Halftime via call or text 877-377-6963. More in just a couple minutes.
It makes me bleed my own blood. Nobody. This is Halftime.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40, so I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina is way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you can be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is Halftime.
All right, let's break someone's clavicle on 3. 1, 2, 3. Break someone's clavicle. Hit the field. Let's go. Move it. Move it.
Looking for a way to get your favorite lures from Pradco at the click of a button? Learner.com not only has brands such as Rebel, Yum, Booyah, and more, but the site includes exclusive deals and baits you won't find anywhere else for your favorite brands. We have free shipping for all U.S. orders over $35, so be sure to treat your favorite fishing buddy or yourself to some new tackle box treasures. Check out Learner.com today.
Hey everyone, Braden Webb here at AAA Business Systems in Northwest Arkansas. You may remember me from my days playing baseball for the Hogs. Now I'm hitting home runs for AAA Business Systems and enhancing the ways company do business in our area. If you want to partner with the best office technology provider in Northwest Arkansas, call me today at 479-442-4185. Let's win together and remember, anything else is just a copy.
Why do people love Shamrock Liquor Warehouse? Simple. They've got it all. 70 years in business, 15,000 square feet of choices. They buy in volume so you can save. What else? How about the largest selection of everything? Shamrock's got it. Special orders? Shamrock's got it. Convenient drive-through, open 6 days a week? Shamrock's got it. Need a keg for your party? Shamrock's got it. Load up at Shamrock Liquor Warehouse at the corner of Midland and Riverfront Drive in Fort Smith.
Hi, I'm Kelly Smith, owner of Dixie Digital Imaging. Are you in the market for a new office printer or multifunction device? Look no further. At Dixie Digital Imaging, we bring a legacy of experience and a rock-solid reputation. Our state-of-the-art solutions are tailored to meet your business needs seamlessly. Why settle for anything less? Call us now at 479-783-6600 to get a quote on your next office printer or multifunction device. Elevate your office efficiency with Dixie Digital Imaging, where experience and reputation meet excellence. That's Dixie Digital Imaging, bringing document innovations to the River Valley.
Welcome to TGL presented by SoFi, golf's newest league. It's sharp and it's electric. How is it sharp? How is it electric? Good questions. Try this on for size. 2 hours of hammer dropping, overtime, forcing, playoffs on the line, golf. With 24 of the best players from the PGA Tour. Split into 6 teams. Atlanta, Boston, Jupiter, LA, New York, and the Bay. This isn't your average Sunday pickup game. Tune in every week for TGL matches. Only on ESPN. Keep up. It's golf.
Looking to upgrade your boat? Now's the time with Honda Marine Buyer's Choice Sales Event. Choose up to $2,000 in instant savings or a 36-month Honda Care Protection Plan. That's extra coverage worth up to $44.60 included at no extra cost. This offer applies to all new 40 to 350 horsepower Honda Marine outboards now through March 31st, 2025. Don't miss this limited time deal at Heartland Honda Power Sports Marine in Springdale. Save big or get extra peace of mind. The choice is yours. Visit Heartland Honda Power Sports Marine today. Exit 72 from I-49 just north of Cracker Barrel.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I took my girl to go bowling downtown at the Red Door. After an argument I started because I thought she didn't like me anymore. Can't help it, sometimes I feel pitiful. And of course, she's so young and beautiful. I bought us 2 glasses of Coke. That's her favorite, and I wanted to make up for earlier. But I dropped her glass and it broke, so I just gave my glass to her. She laughed, and so did I in our lane. Then she went to the vending machine to buy a candy cane. But right next to that was a boy I knew with a spring in his hand, playing a country pinball machine called Stand By Your Man. I saw him talk to her, but I stayed in my lane and played my game steady and was thinking of a day when I'd be too old to throw up all this heavy.
Find halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Join the conversation. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
There were a couple of games I went to in the 80s, Matt, where I got to see Pirates legends have their numbers retired. I saw Ralph Kiner have his number retired. Bill Mazeroski have his number retired. I remember when Arkansas women's basketball raised Betty Fiskus's number and Monica DeHorney's number to the rafters. And, of course, you already had Sydney and Corliss's numbers up in the rafters. Those banners are hanging nice and regular, you know. Upside up would be the right way to put it. Terrence Shannon Jr. started his career at Texas Tech and then finished at Illinois before being drafted in the first round into the NBA, had his number retired yesterday on Saturday when Illinois played Michigan State.
Terrence, please unveil the banner for your honor jersey that will hang from the ceiling of State Park.
Matt, Terrence Shannon pulls down the banner, and it's upside down in front of everybody.
You had one job. You had one job, banner guy.
That's exactly the one thing that wasn't upside down was his number, because his number is 0. Looks exactly the same upside down and right side up. Everything else about that looked wrong. I don't know if they actually raised it to the rafters like that, because that's what you're supposed to do at that moment. He unveils the banner, and it gets raised into the rafters. And it would just seem to me that you would definitely triple check to make sure. It's like the same thing as packing the parachute. Not just a double check. Let's do the triple check here to make sure that at least you hang the guy's jersey right side up. Well done, Illinois. And they lost the game.
The Champagne. There you go. Champagne of so Sydney is 32 and Corliss is 34. Am I correct? I'm trying to think of
you
what
are correct.
Moncrief's number was. Man, you know who might be a little underrated is Sidney Moncrief. You know, if you were to say, hey, let's do a all-time starting 5 in Arkansas basketball, you got to start with Sydney and Corliss. I mean, those two guys, if you're starting, it makes me think a little bit about football. I think I've said this for years. I think Darren McFadden's the best Razorback football player I've seen in my lifetime. And I know there's a lot of great football players, Steve Atwater, Dan Hampton, The list goes on, but I think Darren McFadden should have some type of something out there, man, because that dude was an absolute beast.
See, it's an interesting way that you go about it with football, where I don't know about a lot of places where numbers are really retired. And it's like the same thing as, Zach Root, Arkansas baseball, he got 33 this year. Hagen Smith wore 33 the year before. It's the same as a pitcher getting 45 at Arkansas. Well, that's the number Kevin Kopps wore. That has some weight. It's almost the
like
same
the number
idea.
10 jersey in soccer. Like once you get the number 10 jersey in soccer, you're a captain, a leader by design.
Or having the jersey number 12 when you play at A&M. It's going to mean something different than it will anywhere else. That would be number 5 at Arkansas, wouldn't it? Now, you can't do that with basketball because we've got numbers up in the rafters. You can't have anybody wearing 34. You can't have anybody wearing 32. I guess unless they say it's okay. I'd seen in some cases where someone's jersey was retired, kid comes in, was wearing that number previously, might have had a friend that died and wore that number in his honor and gets the okay to wear the number.
And let me say, when I say, I guess I need to use my words a little better. I don't mean retire the number where nobody else can use it. But, yes, there should be something up. I guess he is in the Ring of Honor, but there should be something associated with that number 100%.
Well, you're not going. So you're not just going to toss number 5 to just anybody,
right? Yeah,
you're just not. You're not going to do that. But maybe when it comes to 0 and Terrence Shannon Jr., maybe they give somebody the jersey anyway and hang him in the rafters upside down. You give that number to your worst player.
What Bobby Knight say? He said,
down.
"I want you to bury me upside down so you can kiss my."
He did say that, didn't he? And I feel like, I don't know if he was the first one to say it, but he's the one everybody remembers when he said it. I seem to remember when I was at college when Jerry Garcia died, that he said he wanted to be buried. It wasn't upside down, but I think it has something a little bit of the same feel of that. And then Bobby Knight takes it to a completely different level. Josefa says, "Yeah, ask Rocket Sanders about number 5." But I think they gave him. They you get number 5 for a specific
Rocket
purpose
Sanders is an All-American.
Yes. Did he get number 5 at Arkansas? Am I missing out on a number that he wore at Arkansas that I didn't remember? Because Broden wore number 5 previously, so that didn't necessarily work out as well. And yeah, Rocket wore number 5, and to me it made perfect sense for him to wear number 5 while he was here. It's just he didn't last his entire career here. Currently, there's only one number 5, and it's Cam Ball, and they haven't handed it to any other offensive player. Am I seeing it? Yeah. Well, it was Broden. Again, that was the last one that got it in. Chris doesn't like retiring numbers, especially in college. And I wonder, so like Shannon played 3 years at Texas Tech. He played 2 years at Illinois. He gets his number retired at Illinois. You're not going to see as many numbers get retired, I guess, in college basketball or even college sports because you get so many players that end up finishing their career somewhere else. And I also wonder about once a lot of these players end up becoming eligible for the College Football Hall of Fame, they just go in as themselves and not representing one specific school like you usually do in baseball, and there's usually some controversy attached to that. Like CeCe Sabathia is going to go in as a Yankee, but he came up with the Cleveland Indians. That's a team that drafted him and nurtured him and everything. And so, sure, a lot of those Cleveland fans are upset about it. But in Canton, you don't go in with a helmet. They actually get to see your head, so it doesn't look like you represent a team necessarily there. College Football Hall of Fame. If you get somebody that played for 4 schools in 4 years, they're probably not going into the College Football Hall of Fame, right? I saw somebody with who was it with women's basketball recently? It was one of the teams Arkansas had played over the last couple of weeks. They had a player that was on her 4th school in 4 years. And this is just what you expect now. This is kind of how teams are put together. And I hate that I think when we see somebody's playing for a 4th team in 4 years, that automatically in your mind gives you a negative opinion of that person. No loyalty, looking for money and that's it and everything. And it's too bad that we'll make our automatic, opinions about that person based upon how many schools that he or she has played for 4 years. And that, kind of flies in the face of some of the reasons why the player may have transferred, may have been a coach let go, may have been a coach that leaves to go somewhere else, and might have been a toxic atmosphere. Who knows? But all this just going into somebody having their number retired absolutely the wrong way. 0 can be upside down, right side up. Terrence Shannon Jr., that needs to be right side up to be read properly. Otherwise, it doesn't work very well. 877-377-6963 if you want to get with us today. It's freezing cold outside, but you still love something sweet and delicious. And Andy's Frozen Custard always has you covered with the greatest frozen treats around. Oh, right now I'm thinking about Andy's Hot Fudge Sundae with pecans. Andy's Frozen Custard covered with hot fudge, roasted pecans, and topped with a cherry. That's at any of the Andy's Frozen Custard locations in Fort Smith on Rogers Avenue, Conway, East Oak Street and Dave Ward Drive, and in North Little Rock on JFK Boulevard. Andy's Frozen Custard, walk up or drive through, always ready to serve you. Back to wrap up the second hour of halftime right after this.
I tell you, I'll eat liver, raw liver, if we win this game Saturday.
This is halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Some days you hit snooze, but not today. Today you have to go on a run to get burgers for the tailgate. You've got to haul something heavy, a cooler stocked with Bud Light. You've got beer and football, nothing is hard, until the other team scores. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Enjoy responsibly. 21 plus. Copyright 2023 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind you to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I would also like to remind any current homeowners or any individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check your eligibility for the Homestead Tax Credit. Contact us today and see if you qualify. The Homestead Tax Credit can save you up to $500 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor and paid for by Amendment 79.
Happy New Year from Sharp Equipment. Come on over to the new Sharp Equipment today and explore what all Sharp has to offer. From our latest offers and deals as a Wackernussen dealer to customized hydraulic and industrial hoses, equipment repairs, and as a Cinnabogan authorized service provider, we're able to offer even more. Stop in to check out the new location at 5608 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith, or give us a call at 479-649-0500 to see how at Sharp Equipment we help you move more than just the world. We help you move forward. Sharp Equipment, your Wackernussen dealer.
Your home is your biggest asset. So when you decide to add a sunroom, a patio cover, a new driveway, or new windows, you need to call a company you can trust. Sawyers has been part of your community for over 30 years. They're insured, licensed, and have 100% financing for all of their products. Take all the worry out of your next project. Call Sawyers and let them handle it from permitting to completion. Sawyers, serving the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas with a full showroom located in Fort Smith, or online at sawyers-sunrooms.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs, with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
The Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Online and on the air and now everywhere you go. Tune in to the greatest moments of Razorback sports with Chuck Barrett, Bo Mattingly, Tommy Kraft, Ty Richardson, Phil Elson, Matt Jones, and Ruskin and Zach with our Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Stay connected no matter where you go with the Hit That Line Now app fueled by Taco Bell. Download for free in the Apple app or Google Play stores. Just search Hit That Line Now. It's fueled by Taco Bell. Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back into halftime, live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Molly Ringwald turning 57 years old today, Matt. I still can't remember the last movie she was in. I don't think I've seen it. Dr. Dre and Matt Dillon are exactly the same age. Vanna White, 68 years old. This is a big birthday day, man. Travolta turned 71. Sybil Shepherd is 75. And Yoko Ono has a birthday today, age 92. I never realized that Yoko is 7 years older than Lennon. That was the new information I found out today.
What's Travolta's best work? You know, a lot of people kind of, you know, you're funny about Face Off. Him and Nick Cage is like, oh, the biggest cinematic reveal in history is they traded faces. You know, it's, but it's like when you look at Travolta, I mean, he's been a guy that, would you say icon, Phil? I know you don't throw icon down a lot, but he's generation each. I mean, what, 4 decades of just being a fine actor?
Look, peak Travolta's had a career that's been since his teenage years, and I still think his best work, and it's nothing against anything he's done in the last like 40 years or whatever. Saturday Night Fever, that is his character in Saturday Night Fever. That is one of the badassiest badasses in movie history, without ever really getting into many fights or anything. Just the dancing in the disco. That's about as cool as it could get. Literally, like the man at the disco during the disco era, and of course it leads right into Urban Cowboy. I feel like those two movies belong together. Let's throw away. What was the name of the? It was Staying Alive. Was the name of the sequel to Saturday Night Fever? Throw that one away. Just have Urban Cowboy be part 2.
There you go. And he was never associated with the P. Diddy party.
Good for him.
Got that going for him.
Good for him. Well, I had a giant crush on his love emeritus, Kelly Preston, for years and years and years. So maybe his entire marriage with Kelly Preston was peak Travolta. It's about as good as it gets. 877-377-6963 to get with us here on Halftime Today. We got another hour to go and another conversation coming up with Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio. We're going to dig into these Big Ten SEC meetings tomorrow that are taking place in New Orleans. Usually it would be the SEC meeting just amongst themselves. The Big Ten is being part of this because these two leagues are about to try to take over college football. And you know what? They're going to be successful too. We'll get into hour number 3 right after this break.
Valley Family Dental at the entrance to Riley Farms provides every type of dental care and procedure for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, same-day crowns, and cosmetics. Dr. Sparkman, Farmer, and now Dr. Blaine Van Nice work to give all of their patients a better life with a better smile. Valley Family Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A at the entrance to Riley Farms. Let them know you heard this on ESPN Radio and receive $300 off a snore guard. Valley Family Dental, 479-226-3500 for an appointment or visit valleyfamilydentalpractice.com.
Now, for a limited time, employee pricing is back at the #1 fifth wheel dealer in Arkansas, Wheels RV. That's right, employee pricing is back, and you pay what our employees pay on a huge selection of select new and used RVs, plus some 2025 models included. You'll find all your favorite brands, such as Grand Design, Brinkley, Forest River, Vibe, Novo, and Flagstaff. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty on every new RV sold. Employee pricing exclusively at Wheels RV in Springdale. Wheels RV, located 5 miles west of I-49 in Tawnytown. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Remodeling your bathroom? Don't let your imagination be limited by out-of-the-box shower doors or tub enclosures. Arkansas Glass and Mirror is your local source for all things glass, including plexiglass, mirrors, and shower doors since 1964. Arkansas Glass and Mirror has more selections, better prices, and the experience to help you build the shower of your dreams. They also have the only showroom in the area to help you create those dreams. Professional installation and professional service. Only at Arkansas Glass and Mirror, 1316 South Zero, Fort Smith, or online at arkansasglassandmirror.com.
Are you ready to work for one of the area's premier companies? If so, Forsgren wants to offer you a rewarding new career. Forsgren has been building the foundation of the River Valley for over 80 years. Forsgren is recruiting for experienced concrete finishers, equipment operators, truck drivers, and laborers. Forsgren is a destination point for men and women with a drive toward excellence. Join the Forsgren legacy. Apply now on any device, anywhere at GoForsgren.com. That's GoForsgren.com. Forsgren Incorporated is an equal opportunity employer.
Up to $10,000 off or $7,000 off and 0% financing on select 2024 GMC Sierras at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. The 24 GMC Sierra will conquer the road with confidence. Up to $10,000 off or take $7,000 in discounts and 0% financing with approved credit. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. We are professional grade. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, big winter storm moving on through today into Wednesday. We could see anywhere from 4 to 6 inches of snow, light glazing of ice north, and about 1 to 2 inches of snow and sleet, about 1/10 of an inch of ice south. We will see the snow increasing in intensity today, our high this afternoon into the upper 20s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
The weather is brought to you by Forsgren Incorporated, committed to setting the standard of excellence since 1936. You're listening to ESPN 95.3, KERX Paris, Fort Smith.
Tommy's right on this one. Do you feel? Let me ask you this.
Normal around here.
Coming to you live from the Crabtree RV Center studios.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com. We got a good one tonight. You got to take it here. Got to respect it. Oh, actually, if I'm all right. Why can't they dominate? And we not doing it. We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field. Yeah.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Bill Olson and Matt Jones. From the bottom of my toes to the top of my head. What's my heart, dog? Let's go, man.
The angles were so bad we showed them at halftime.
What they for one racerback?
Like, what in the world were we thinking?
It's vintage Matt Jones.
Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Back on halftime, you're listening to ESPN Arkansas, hitthatline.com, and the Hit That Line Now app. This is Phil Elson in snowy Fayetteville. Matt Jones and Christian Johnston holding down our headquarters in the fort. Calls and texts coming in at 877-377-6963. Talking with Bill King, Nashville Sports Radio, in our next segment. So now's the time if you want to get in with us. And Matt, you got this. Got the SEC Big Ten meetings tomorrow in New Orleans. The two big leagues of college sports just kind of, I think, carve up college sports a little bit more for themselves. We had a 12-team playoff. I could see very well we're going to maybe end up with 14, 16-team playoff potentially. And I think that's where the SEC and Big Ten want to go, because you get 16 teams in. There will be fully 8 guaranteed spots for the Big Ten and the SEC. This will not have to be voted on by any of their other conference partners. You know, there's only 1 year left in the current contract for the college football playoff. And under that structure, any tweaks to the playoff have to be signed off by all of the conferences and Notre Dame. Once this contract is over, and it ends after next year's championship game, I mean the upcoming season's championship game, now we're in a different world where the SEC and the Big Ten can basically dictate what the college football playoff will look like to the other leagues. They've already started to do it based upon the percentage of the revenue for the playoff that is going to the SEC, and the Big Ten is much more than the percentage that's going to the ACC and the Big 12. The writing's been on the wall for more than 2 years now, and they're going to start putting that writing to paper. So you won't be having that conversation any longer about, well, should a 5-3 SEC team get in? The conversation will be which of the 5-3 SEC teams make it to the playoff this year, because it's going to happen. And there will be a time where there may be more than 2 of them that get in, or maybe more than 1 of them that get in is what I meant.
You know, and there's a lot going on in the football world. You got Arch Manning taking over at Texas. You know, is Carson Beck the best portal get in the portal as far as going to Miami? Kind of, you see what some of these teams are doing, whether it be Oregon, Notre Dame, Miami. You kind of see their formula of going out and getting a winner. I mean, college football, Phil, I think I don't know that you can say that it's peaked, but it's peaking, man. I mean, who doesn't love I mean, just all the hoopla and pomp and circumstance, and just there's something. It's I know they're making it up as they go, but it's just there's something every week about the college football game, and who knows? I mean, who honestly knows what it's gonna look like in 4 years? I couldn't tell you. You know, is the Big Ten and SEC just going to be doing their own thing?
Well, it seems that they're going to do their thing and dictate to the rest of the leagues how they're going to do their thing when it comes to how you're building the playoff. And again, if the NCAA is in charge of all the other sports except for football, basically because the NCAA controls the championships. Well, who controls the championship controls the sport. That means SEC, Big Ten will essentially be the de facto commissioners. You know, Petitti at the Big Ten and Sankey at the SEC will be the de facto commissioners of college football. And I wonder if that leads to a place where, now you're right, Matt. College football has never been more popular. You know, the ratings were still great. I mean, we can point to the ratings of the championship game not being as good as they were the year before. It's still a massively watched thing. People still love watching college football. You move that game to January 1st, you'll blow the ratings out. Move the championship game to January 1st, you will absolutely blow the ratings out. It's not a matter of people don't like college football or they're souring on it. But what about you're at a place where fully half of the field will be from 2 leagues, and the other, however many leagues are in Division I, kind of get shut out from it? There will always be that interest in SEC, the footprint of the SEC. There is always that interest amongst the Big Ten. The ratings say so. I mean, these are the most watched college football games of the year, and you'd throw Notre Dame in there as well. So, you know, I don't know if this is the kind of thing where college football gets less popular. It's just, Matt, we never know what the sport's going to look like. We know exactly what all the professional leagues look like right now. The only conversation we're having is, why does the NBA All-Star Game nobody care about it? And the NBA's got to figure out how to make their regular season mean something, because it doesn't feel like it does anymore. And the All-Star Game certainly didn't either. College football now, how many years have we had some kind of major sea change, whether it's been schools switching leagues or throwing more teams into the playoff, or a playoff that now only has 1 year left, and then you figure out what it looks like after that. And they've got all these contracts signed with TV networks and schools running around and everything. There is no more sport that is less organized than college football, but they still love it, Matt. And I don't think anybody that runs college football or runs the SEC or Big Ten is worried about alienating fans. Because if they would have alienated fans, it would have happened by now through all of these changes in the last few years, and the ratings just get better. So I don't see that. I don't see that fans are turning away from the sport. And for our fans who are listening now who love the NCAA basketball tournament, if they add another round to it, which I don't think it would be a full round, it would be like another first four. Does that mean you're not going to watch the tournament? Of course you will, because it'll be on at the same time it's always been on. You'll treat it like the national holiday that you treat it, and you'll still love the sport, whether you like the added teams in or not. And I just feel like you'll probably be watching college football no matter what. The thing that will get people to stop watching is I think when they feel like, well, we've had a lot of fans already say that the sport has changed to a point where it's more difficult for them to watch it. Maybe it's the pay of the players. Maybe it's a feeling like the loyalty is more to to himself than it is to the school or to the coach. Maybe that's the thing that gets people to stop watching football. But I don't ever see it happening, truthfully, because more football. The only way you don't watch football is if it's the UFL or the XFL, one of those things. People don't really seem to get into that too much.
Have you I haven't even really looked at the schedule to see some of the big games. You know, LSU, they usually start off with somebody like USC. You got Texas is going to go to Ohio State on August 30th. Is that real? That's like one of the first games of the year.
Yes.
I mean, you're going to find out quickly about your boy Arch Manning. And then there was another one. It seemed like Clemson. Yeah, Clemson, LSU. I mean, golly, could LSU – Clemson's kind of feel like they've rebounded a little bit. Then also BYU. You know, they're a team that they were 11-2 last year, beat SMU. Are they one of the teams maybe that are on the come when you're talking about teams last year that were doing well? I think Bill King probably. You know, who is BYU's quarterback? You know, I know they're tough. I like their mantra. You know, like I like what they stand for and how they play. They whooped Colorado. You know, BYU had some big wins last year.
Well, guess what, too, Matt? Preseason spring practice starts March 10th for Arkansas. I mean, we're within a month from the start of spring. Yeah,
that's here.
It is. So there'll have to be a lot of talk on that in about a month.
The one thing too that
getting ready for it now.
And I know Bill King's not an NFL draft guy, but I do kind of have a question. So last year Cam Ward was considered to be about comparable to Michael Penix, right? And he goes number 9, and a lot of people thought that people might have reached on Michael Penix. How did Cam Ward, how all of a sudden now is he the clear-cut number 1 overall quarterback? You know, when last year he had been the 6th quarterback in that class. Did he improve that much, or is it just the fact that they're going to take a quarterback in the top 4 picks? Because you have to have a quarterback.
That's a good question for Bill King. He's coming up in just a moment here on Halftime. You got any questions on college football that you want to ask to the king of college football talk? Text it in, 877-377-6963. Are you listening to the show right now on the Hit That Line Now app? You might be listening on any of our 4 radio affiliates, but anytime you are outside of the range of our affiliates, you can listen to anything going on hitthatline.com and ESPN Arkansas on the Hit That Line Now app, brought to you by Taco Bell. It's got all of our shows, both audio and video. It's got all of our podcasts. Clay Henry's columns also at Hit That Line are on the Hit That Line app, and it's brought to you by Taco Bell, where you can satisfy your daytime cravings with the Cantina Chicken menu lineup today. Bill King from Nashville Sports Radio stops by, getting into college football right after this break.
I hate rude behavior in a man. Won't tolerate it.
This is Halftime.
On 2nd down, the give is to Felix Jones on an end around. Jones to the 30 to 40. Jones in midfield. He may go. 25 to 20. 10, 5. Touchdown.
Thanks for watching us here on ESPN Arkansas. Download the brand new Hit That Line Now app in the Apple and Google Play stores. ESPN Arkansas, more than just radio stations.
Tommy Kraft here. When it came time for new gates and some fence repairs at my home, the Fence Man was my first call. The Fence Man does it all, from large commercial jobs to small residential repairs. Wood privacy fence, vinyl fence, commercial or residential chain link, even custom wrought iron fencing. 479-782-3936. 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit is now available. If it involves fencing, the Fence Man does it. The Fence Man. He ain't afraid of no work. 479-782-3936.
A dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouth.
Some serious crappie. Nice speck.
We got crappie.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite. White perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline. The game starts here.
Hey everybody, this is Tyson Fan. Dad, tell everyone about your job at Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash.
Power washing, son. I've been working in the business for over 15 years, all over the River Valley and Northwest Arkansas, residential or commercial. At Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash, our cleaning services include exterior home, fence, driveways, walkways, gutters, pool deck cleansing, and more.
Call my dad at 479-763-5561.
Mike
Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call, cleans it all.
Eat Lux your way with the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes from Taco Bell. The $5 Classic box is iconic all over. The $7 Supreme box has your decadent favorites and then some. The $9 Discovery box introduces you to your newest obsession, like cheesy dipping burritos. Introducing the new $5, $7, and $9 Lux Cravings boxes, only at Taco Bell.
Thanks for
It's here to stay, and it's not your parents' poultry. The Cantina chicken menu from Taco Bell is slow roasted and perfectly seasoned. Take it tacoed up in a crispy white corn tortilla with cheese inside and out, or wrapped in a burrito with fresh purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. However you like it, you'll never chicken the same way again. Get yours today at your nearest Taco Bell and join rewards to earn free food. Available at participating stores. Rewards points are earned on qualifying purchases. All items while supplies last. Subject to terms.
Hey, it's Matt Jones. Join me, Phil, and Dr. Charles Liggett every Monday at 12:15 for my favorite segment, 3 Up, 3 Down.
Pitchers look pretty good. Getting quite a few strikeouts over the weekend. Good to see Kendall Diggs back in there.
I'm a patient there, and you can be too. 3 Up, 3 Down is presented by River Valley Smile Center. Visit rivervalleysmiles.com or give them a call at 479-646-0706. That's River Valley Smile Center. When you come here, you become family.
The Hit That Line Now app is ready for you to download from the Apple and Google Play stores. Sponsored by Taco Bell. Live Moss. Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Call or text 877-377-6963. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Let's go to the phones where Bill King joining us on a Tuesday afternoon from Nashville Sports Radio, WNSR, where Bill hosts 6 to 9 Monday through Friday. He is the king of college football talk. And Bill, it is snowing. Visibility has gotten really bad here in Fayetteville. We're expecting about a foot. What you got going on outside your window?
Hitting tonight, probably an inch or two on the south side of Nashville, and then once you get into Nashville and you go north, it starts accumulating more. Probably won't be that bad where I'm located in the Franklin-Brentwood area.
Okay, well, it's going to be we're going to be frozen in here for a couple of days. And
Wow.
It's good that the weather isn't hitting New Orleans, where the SEC and the Big Ten commissioners and athletic directors and staff members are meeting. And man, Bill, this feels like a meeting that's got a chance to potentially change college football for the future. I know it's the second time that these two groups are meeting, and could you use the term hostile takeover of college football, maybe?
Yeah, but it's not news. This has been the case. We've known it for a couple of years. And basically, cliff notes for your audience, the Big Ten and the SEC have told everybody else we're running the show. There's nothing you can do about it. If you think you can live without us, go ahead, but you can't. Here's the way it's going to be. That's the conversation.
So that means to me, the conversation becomes, when you get to the SEC, it's not a matter of should a 5-3 team get in. It's which one of the 5-3 teams that we had. What were there, 5 of them, 6 of them in the SEC? Which one of these teams gets in? Because you're going to end up having 5-3 making the tournament, making the money grab at that point.
Well, and they're going to insist on a minimum of teams per league, and the Big Ten and the SEC are going to insist on 4. That's the number I think likely gets settled. And if that's the case, maybe they go to 9 league games, which I think is a mistake, but you get more money from ESPN when you negotiate it, and you're protected with the minimum number of entries, so you don't worry about that 9th league game in season costing you a playoff spot. There's a lot of dominoes here that have to fall. They're even talking about 16 teams. Right now it's 14 or 16 for 26. 14 was the leader in the clubhouse. I still think it is, but 16 is being discussed. If that's the case, then your first round is simply 8 games, right? 2 teams, no buys. There you go.
I've read a little bit of ideas of, I guess it feels a little bit of like an NBA play-in tournament, the way that they decide the last 2 spots for the real playoffs. So they have a tournament amongst amongst 3 teams. And I've even read where, changing potentially the last weekend of the regular season and what had been championship weekend into some sort of a play-in between 2nd place through 5th place. And now you're see, we've said for years, well, the second to last weekend of the regular season is kind of like a playoff weekend. Same with the last weekend. But now you actually are going to have potentially, if this actually goes through, real like conference playoff games.
What they're discussing is championship weekend when everybody's playing their league championship game. This last year, the Georgia-Texas game, which was a repeat. That same day, you would have 4 teams inside the league playing as a play-in game. This last year, that would have been Ole Miss, Tennessee, LSU, Alabama. Now, that has not been agreed upon, and I think it's a terrible idea, and it's making things way too busy. It's almost like we're creating busy work, like when you were in 6th grade, but that's what they're discussing. In the Big Ten, it would have been Ohio State, Illinois, Iowa, Indiana. And, of course, you had your league championship game, which was Oregon and Penn State. That's what they're discussing. That's overkill.
Yeah, in soccer and you'll have your teams if they're first, second, third, and fourth. First and second would be going through it, and then that third and fourth place team would actually be playing for that place. So I could see them getting to something like that because I think they'll do away with the conference championship games. But that's a way you could get there. When I'm looking around at maybe a surprise team, but then let's keep it in the SEC first, Bill. Alabama, Ole Miss, LSU. All three of those. Which one of those can you put those in order? Does Bama miss out on the postseason play again this next year?
I don't think so. I'd probably go Bama, LSU, Ole Miss in that order, and maybe I'm underrating Ole Miss. That is a very good team and a very good program, but I would probably go in that order. I think hiring Ryan Grubb, bringing him back from Seattle, and handing that offense over to him and Coach DeBoer is going to be a big change in that offense. They never found their true personality the entire year, and I think that will change.
So BYU goes 11-2 last year. At Louisville, they have 19 wins over the last 2 years. Which one of those teams, Bill, do you think has the best chance to make the playoffs?
Well, the ACC's lucky. They're probably going to get 2 automatics. And that might be the league champion, which right now you have to say is Clemson. And then who the runner-up would be, which could be Louisville, could be Miami. Couple of teams like that. But it's going to be – I would give BYU more of a chance than Louisville. Unless, again, Louisville's in that league championship game. Then I would give them a decent chance. They're very well coached. Coach Brom does a fantastic job there. And they are much more – liquid in this pay-to-play game than people think. Louisville's got money.
Hey, tell me a little bit about this transfer. With Arkansas baseball just played Wazoo in baseball, and I see Oklahoma, their new quarterback is a transfer from Washington State. Tell me a little bit about his game. Is he a dual threat, Dylan Gabriel type? Is he a dynamic enough to kind of maybe put OU over the hump?
He's from Denton, which is the Dallas area, and out of high school put up a whole bunch of yardage. One of those, lack of better term, run-and-shoot type quarterbacks. Went out there to Wazoo, had a monster 0-4 with big yardage passing and running. He's a fast break, no huddle, speeded up quarterback. And he might be the missing ingredient for that offense. They got a lot to fix on both sides of the ball. I am a glass half empty guy overall on Brent Venables eventually restoring Oklahoma to where that fan base wants them. But this quarterback's pretty good now. And he's a guy that on TV is very exciting. Not a whole lot of standing around with this kid.
When's the last time we've been anticipation with Arch Manning? So who's the last quarterback or the last college football player where everybody was just, we can't wait to watch him play? It seems like we're kind of getting that feel with Arch Manning, and they have to go to Columbus to take on Ohio State, who lost both their coordinators, which they'll still be fine. But can you remember in the last, 20 years when you're like, man, this is a guy I want to go see? And where do you have Arch Manning kind of in the – is he a top 5 quarterback in the SEC?
I wouldn't put him there right now. I don't have enough data. I know his last name, and I've watched a lot of film on him from high school all the way up through the reps that he's gotten, the limited reps he's gotten in Austin, Texas. I'm not suggesting he won't be outstanding. I just haven't seen it yet, plus or minus. And it depends. There's always a high school phenom quarterback almost every year, maybe a couple that you're waiting on. Probably the biggest name in the last 5 years would be Caleb Williams. Just from a high school standpoint, the D.C. area, going to Oklahoma first. And actually, Shane Beamer is very instrumental in getting him to Oklahoma when he was on that staff. But I would say if you're just talking high school to college, as far as a college quarterback that had to wait his turn, boy, that's a good one. I'm not sure. Maybe Nico Iamaleava up at Tennessee, and he had kind of a medium year. He did not have a huge breakout year like I thought he would.
Do we sleep at all on the ACC? It just hit me a little. You spoke about Louisville and all the money that they have. Looks like Dabo's kind of getting into the portal enough to where they'll be able to replenish what they may lose in some cases. Clemson may end up being maybe not back to where they were at national championships, but being a real power in that league. I wouldn't expect Florida State to stay at the bottom of the barrel. Belichick at North Carolina, SMU, all the money that they've got too. Are we sleeping at all on the ACC moving forward?
I don't think so. I don't know how you can have Florida State 2-10, and like you, I don't anticipate that to be every year. That's a very damaging plummet. That's not just okay, we went 7-5 and we were supposed to go 10-2. That's a fall off the cliff into the abyss season. That's fireable. Now they own so much money they can't, but if they're not right, that league's not right. Now Miami is playing some pretty good ball, right? And they got Carson Beck coming in after Cam Ward. They have been very aggressive in the portal. They're doing better than they have since, let's say, the 2002 season on average right now. And you've got some sneaky teams. NC State can be sneaky. Georgia Tech is a very well-coached team. Syracuse is a very well-coached team. Fran Brown is a fantastic recruiter. And by the way, Syracuse and Tennessee open up the season next year against each other. But I don't know. I still think downgrading that league is probably the appropriate thing to do top to bottom.
Bill, you look at who would be your kind of way too early Heisman favorite? Has that lost any of its lore? Like, who do you think that would be early on your list to win the 2025 Heisman?
Going with it's got to be a quarterback most years, few exceptions as we know. Probably one of the quarterbacks, but tough to say. Number one, you're going to need to be in an offense where you're allowed to put up crazy yardage. And you're going to need to win a bare minimum of 10 games. And we'll see what that means. Now, you just mentioned Arch Manning. If Arch Manning has a really good year, doesn't have to be great, and they're 10-2, 11-1, which I anticipate them being, he's going to be right there in the top couple by virtue of brand recognition. And, of course, he's at Texas, and they're winning, and he's playing well. That would be an obvious one. Carson Beck's got a lot to prove after last year. I still think he's a borderline first-round talent. Didn't play like a borderline fourth-round talent this last year, most of the year. Some of that would be losing Ladd McConkey and losing Brock Bowers, and then, tough to replace those guys. But it's got to be one of those quarterbacks that is going to be allowed. Nico Iamaleava at Tennessee, again, did not have the year he needs. He's in an offense where you can put up that kind of yardage. The kid, DJ Lagway of Florida, is a phenomenal dual threat. Now, can they win 8, 9, 10 games? With that schedule, that's tough.
Who's the Bo Nix of last year's draft, Cam Ward of this year's draft? Who's the quarterback that stayed? Because if you remember right, Cam Ward, when he transferred in, it was because he was going to be like the last pick or first pick. He was getting a second-round grade. Now he might be the first number 1 overall pick taken. Bo Nix, one of those. I mean, he really shot up going out to Oregon and doing his thing. Who's a quarterback maybe that wasn't on the list that you think can have a first-round grade at the end of the season?
That's, I think, an easy one. Now, it's not the exact same circumstance. He has not transferred Cade Klubnik. Cade Klubnik at Clemson, from his first year, which was very shaky, to the way he played last year, including in that Texas game, and the way he's trending right now, he is the guy that fits that category. Now, draft pick area and all that is probably a question mark, but that is the guy that fits that category where I think his resume has come the furthest.
Yeah, I like it. I think that ACC is gonna with SMU, and then you think this Florida State, they can't stay down that long, but that's gonna be an interesting conference. Bill, man, we always appreciate some of your time, and thank you again for joining us this Tuesday.
Thank you guys very much. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. That's Bill King, king of college football, and generous enough to spend a little bit of his time with us today, this Tuesday. And let's go to commercial. We'll be back to wrap this thing up.
Who's the big winner here tonight at the casino? Huh? Mikey, that's who. Mikey's the big winner.
This is halftime.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
You're listening to Halftime Live from the Crabtree RV Center studios. Crabtree RV Center, where RVing is life.
Old Man Winter is here, bringing cold, nasty weather. And Jelco Outdoors has all the gear to keep you warm and dry. Insulated coats, jackets, overalls, coveralls, thermal socks, and gloves. For kids, up to men's 4X. Jelco Outdoors has the largest selection of winter boots in the River Valley to keep your feet warm and dry. Need a portable heater? Jelco has plenty of Mr. Heater portable propane heaters and accessories. Come see us at Jelco Outdoors. Stay safe and stay warm this winter. Jelco Outdoors, 4600 South Zero in Fort Smith, your cold weather store.
Picture it. It's a day like any other. You're stuck in traffic on Rogers Avenue during rush hour. You're just ready to get home and relax with your family. And then, just like that, your life can change in an instant. And you're going to need a lawyer to make it right. I'm Phil Votaw with Phil Votaw & Associates. If this happens to you, call me, 479-434-6200, or online at votawlaw.com. I'm Phil Votaw, and you've never met a lawyer like me.
Looking to protect yourself and your family this flu season? Law's Drug Store at 6802 Rogers Avenue offers the latest vaccines for adults and seniors in both COVID-19 and the flu. Law's Drug Store has friendly pharmacists ready to assist you with no appointment necessary. Call 452-6116. It's quick, it's easy, and in most cases, free with your insurance. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Open 6 days a week to care for you and your family.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Man, I'm in a slump. My energy took a nosedive out of nowhere, and I just don't have the motivation to get things done.
You're over 40. Could be lower testosterone. Have you tried Nugenix Total T?
Nugenix, the testosterone booster on TV?
That's right. Look, I felt the same plunge in my energy after I turned 40. So I tried out Nugenix to see if it would help me.
Did Nugenix make a difference for you?
Night and day. My stamina is way up now. I'm building lean muscle at the gym. I'm totally back on my game. And you could be too. Just send a text to Nugenix. They'll send you a complimentary bottle so you can try it for yourself.
Text ROCK to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text ROCK to 321-321. That's ROCK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Sometimes I'm in a hurry. Stay in the slow lane, buddy. That's when I use the Sodies app to order my favorites and pick up in their drive-thru. They even offer a 10% discount on your first app order. Experience different at Sodies Wine and Spirits off I-540 on Phoenix Avenue.
Every day is worth celebrating at Uncorked. Cocktails, wine, craft beer, bourbons, and unbelievably great food. Uncorked on Phoenix Avenue next to Sodies.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3. Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Call or text 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
Spring, really. I would say that I learned a whole lot. You know, you just get to see somebody out there and competing against another team when it matters. And sometimes you see guys that really step it up. But we feel like we've got a lot of guys that are gamer type guys. But what really jumped out at me was, you know, Thomas's at bats were really good. He got his hits, he took his walks, and could flip him to the top of the order if we needed to. But I like it. That's a threat down there.
Steve Van Horn on at least one thing that he learned about his team moving forward into the weekend at Arlington, which will be Friday. I'm going to be on the call for all of those games. No Bubba on the trip, but it's really not much better, except maybe some home games at Baum and being at the College World Series Park than college baseball in Arlington. But enough about that stuff for the moment. That's what DVH learned about his team over the weekend. We had some homework done by our resident cultural student here on Halftime, which, of course, is the one and only C Homework. Christian Johnston is his official name. We give him like 18 million other names here. Matt and I are into watching these days Johnny Carson reruns. Have you found your channel again, Matt? I haven't watched an episode.
They just
for
start
a
at
couple
10
days.
now. You know, they used to be at 9. They're still on, but you know, I like.
Can you stay up another hour?
That's what I mean. I kind of that was kind of, it was the sweet spot right there where I was getting ready for bed but no, I still dig it.
I didn't realize the Tonight Show was still a thing. You know, they've just replaced the host, obviously, but man,
who replaced Johnny Carson?
Got a big chin. We were talking about him a few months ago when he fell down a hill outside Pittsburgh and had a giant bruise on his face.
Yeah, I remember.
Jay Leno.
Jay Leno, yeah.
Matt, that's way too easy. You can't be giving hints quite like that.
Well,
but
it's
that
a
was
bonus.
well done.
He gets 1 percentage point on his test.
That's true.
That was great.
Okay, then who replaced Leno?
Was it Conan? No. Was it?
I think he did, but it didn't last very long.
No, it didn't.
He was mad because it was the late. He got moved back a time or something. He didn't. Do you see Dave, your boy? He's got a nice beard on the Saturday Night Live, deal. Dave Letterman.
Well, so
came
I
out
think
there.
he's been growing it ever since he left late night TV.
Mm-hmm. It looks good.
So I wonder. Of course, it looks good, but who's got the longer one between you and David Letterman?
Well, his haircut costs a lot more than I do. He's got a little bit more money to shelve into it.
I don't know, you guys have some similar things now. You're both in broadcasting. You both have giant facial hair.
We're both humans.
And humans, which
That's
of
where it
course be top
stops.
of the list. So is Ed McMahon. He was a human being, and I don't think C Unit had any knowledge on who Ed was before we started calling him C McMahon, because everybody needs a hype man in life. Not everybody gets a hype man in life, but everybody needs one. Not a wingman. This is a difference. A wingman is somebody that kind of helps you feel comfortable around a group of people that maybe you're not comfortable with. And yes, that can be another woman that you're trying to impress, but she's also got other women with her that need to be that need to be pulled away from her so that you might be able to have the one-on-one conversation. That's what a wingman is for. When it comes to a hype man, it's all about making you feel good about your own jokes. That's what Ed McMahon was for Johnny Carson. And that's what you are, C Unit, C Laughter. Every time we tell a really bad joke or say something that we think is funny but it really isn't, but you're in the background giving us the, hey-oh! See what I mean? So that's why we had to educate him.
It's like John Mulaney. He said over the course of 50 years, 894 people have hosted Saturday Night Live, and it amazes him that only 2 of them have committed murder.
Ayo! that would be the perfect moment for the Ayo, and I feel like there had to have been a time where McMahon might have hosted SNL because he was that famous. He is the most famous.
He did just about everything else. I mean,
he is the most famous. What would the term
Robin?
be aside from hype man?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's the most famous Robin. Side
second
piece.
fiddle.
Yeah.
Well, a side piece. Well, I wasn't going to use that term.
We'll go Robin.
But it can be the same idea. Yeah, second fiddle, sidecar, Robin. So that would make you the third wheel, I guess. C wheel. What did you learn about Ed McMahon? You can inform us about.
Well, I know he's very talented, a very funny guy. Did his job very well. I think if you can do something for 30 years, I believe this is how long he did it, right? Yeah.
Yes, but what was his job? Like, his job was sitting on a couch,
Yeah.
saying, "Here's Johnny," and then laughing. And that was it. I mean, he was pretty good at that.
Yeah.
A lot of us can do these things.
He could go back and forth, and he could tell jokes. He made the crowd laugh just as much as Carson sometimes. I mean, he just knew. I mean, he knew when to talk, what to say in the right moment. And, man, he was well respected, and he was a very talented person. Just looking at his background, I mean, that's just half of – I mean, that's not even half of what he did. I mean, he's done all kinds of stuff, served in the Marine Corps, and just –
The P is silent. It's okay.
Marine
Corps, he
Corps,
did.
yeah.
He did. He served in the Marine Corps. You put some stuff on here I didn't know about him, so he obviously at least did a little bit of studying. I think it takes a lack of ego to be a proper sidecar or Robin, because if you're somebody that's on television, like you like the camera being on you, and you like the camera at the same time, and the camera loves you. But it's all about Johnny, and it's all about the guest. So it's just, there would be moments, and you see this when you watch the replays, you don't even realize Ed is there until the show's over, and they're shaking hands, and he stands up to shake hands. And it's, all right, Ed's right there. This is someone that I don't think had that much of an ego, because he would just let Johnny be the star. That's what you do for me and Matt, C-Unit, and we appreciate it so much.
Well, thank you.
The one thing that he always does, too, is if a pretty girl comes up there, he's giving her the handshake and the side kiss. And if it's anybody else, like the third guest, he doesn't get up out of his seat to go talk to somebody else. But if it's a pretty lady, he gets he makes sure he's over there.
What else can you tell me about him?
He started as a producer and co-host of a radio variety show, the Take 10 show. And then he was obviously on television a lot. He was on 13 different television programs, at one time in Philadelphia.
Did you have a favorite Ed McMahon laugh from The Tonight Show? Did you watch any laughter highlights of Mr. McMahon, who I think had the most famous laugh of his lifetime? I'll give you mine. I've got two of them, okay? My favorite one would be,
yeah.
You really got to work hard for it to come up. That's laughter coming from the soles of your feet, not just from your diaphragm or from the middle of your chest. That's laughter from all the way down into the floor. It was that one, and I mean, come on. If you drop in a hey-oh, then you know you did something that was really, really funny. So those would be my two favorites.
Well, what I'm gonna do in my free time is try to watch some of the shows between them. Like, I've seen some of them. I've seen clips of them, but I want to see if I can find maybe a full show or something on YouTube. Just kind of.
They had Jerry Seinfeld on yesterday. They had a young Eddie Murphy on before he did. What Beverly Hills Cop? Before so it's pretty neat to see some of those young up and comers and how they act and kind of their mannerisms and what they talk about and just the time period about what's going on. It was neat to hear them talk about an answering machine service. They're like, I don't want no answering machine. What is all this? This the technology, old man, get off my lawn stuff, internet, things that are good. What's an email? Just the stuff that's going on. It's pretty neat.
And I mean, they've been gone for a long time. If they were to wake up in today's day and age of media, they would think they were on another planet. This is not Earth, is it? They really haven't been dead that long in terms of human lifetime, but the world is completely different from when those two departed.
What was the moment in sports when it was Phil Knight? It was either last year or 2 years ago, and they're showing a picture of what's going on, and Phil Knight is the only one that is watching the game. Everybody else is looking through it through their phone. It was a big time moment, but I think a lot of the youth and those people. When you go to a game, I'm like, why are you on the game's right there? But you got to put it on the interweb.
do people really like watch the videos on their phone that they've taken through all these years? All of the dances that you took photos or the videos of the kids, all of that. Do you really go back and watch all of those things, or if it's just a moment of a sporting event that you were at? Are we really going back and watching these things? I guess we are. Otherwise, we wouldn't be using the video of all of them. 877-377-6963 to get with us on halftime. We'll take a quick break. We'll be back and wrap the show up in just a moment.
Yo, Adrian, it's me, Rocky.
This is halftime.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
Arkansas Fuel Injection in Fort Smith has been providing quality work for all new and rebuilt diesel pumps and injectors for over 25 years. They are a certified diesel shop with a team of quality technicians that ensure the highest quality workmanship and warranties all their work. They are open Monday through Friday 8 to 5 and has emergency service available 24 hours a day. For all your diesel pump, fuel injection, and parts needs, stop by Arkansas Fuel Injection, 6300 South 29th Street, Fort Smith. Call them today at 1-800-817-7709. Arkansas Fuel Injection.
Who can you trust to sell your home for the most money with the least amount of drama? You need a team of agents with decades of experience, commitment, and of course, tens of thousands in marketing. I'm talking about the Limbird team. Tara Limbird Real Estate Group has sold over $1 billion in real estate. Tara's team can give you a cash offer in 72 hours, or use Tara's high-octane marketing to sell your home quite possibly for thousands over asking. Find out more at LimbirdTeam.com. LIMBIRD.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code BUY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code BUY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Hey, it's Ty Richardson. We're live at First Financial Mortgage with my friend Ethan Adamson. Ethan was my mortgage lender here. And Ethan, between you and Emily, over 2 decades.
Yeah, we've got quite a bit of experience here to help you get closed on a home really quick. We offer custom financing available through VA, FHA, RD, and conventional loans. First Financial Mortgage has a great history of lending in the area. Call 479-782-9300. Weekdays 8 to 5. FFB1.com. First Financial Mortgage, in the business of you, equal housing lender.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted it close to town, with a picture window overlooking a yard. And you found it. Now, when you sit down to dinner, you've got front row seats to your neighbor's daily pickleball game. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers not available in all states.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Harrod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
How long has this been going on? I found you in the bathtub with your clothing on. Oh, so what? Your mother didn't number, so I get gloves of rubber to clean up the spill. No, I'm begging you, please do it down. Young lover, I wish that I was your dog. Young lover, I miss the taste of your tongue. No, young lover, I wish that love was enough.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, see what's going on in sports today. Arkansas plays tomorrow. Should be some SEC games tonight. You got Florida taking on Oklahoma in Gainesville. A&M's at Mississippi State. South Carolina at LSU. Boy, there's one game to miss this year. It's South Carolina at LSU. Hogs at Auburn tomorrow. Vandy at Kentucky. Bama at Missouri. Those look like some good games, too, and I'm sure Kentucky's looking for a little revenge on Vandy. All of those games are available also to put some money on the Bet Saracen app. You want to do it on any of your favorite sporting events. Bet Saracen works on your Apple iPhone. Just download from the App Store. Android users go to Google Play. The web browsers work to betsaracen.com. And a reminder, the Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast coming out shortly, thanks to C. McMahon, Eastside Liquor at 9390 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith, 479-452-7311. Might want to get over there now and make sure you're stocked up for the next couple of days. Tomorrow, weather permitting, and at least C Movie can get into the studios. We'll have our show tomorrow, which will include Grant Hall and Clay Henry. And let's see, when we started the show, Matt, I could see Mount Kessler outside my window. I can no longer see the mountains outside my window. So it's gotten quite snowy in Fayetteville. The roads look like they're getting covered pretty quickly. There's still some cars out there, but looks like it's time to stay indoors the rest of the day.
Yeah, I thought you were going to give an update on Gottlieb, if he got a conference win yet or not.
Oh, I don't think he has.
Do they storm the court? No, he was obviously they're not going to win a conference game this year, but do they storm the court when they get their first win? Like put their coach up on his shoulders?
All 20 people at the game? Would maybe not be the best look. Yeah, I mean they may have Green Bay may have the worst record in all of Division I. No, they don't. Canisius is 2-23. The Canisius Golden Griffins are 2-23. So Green Bay at 3-24. They're doing a little bit better than that.
That's like your boy's shooting percentage from 3-point line this year.
What did I say his 3-point percentage is in the SEC?
26.
That's the man. I mean, yeah, 268 is Nellie Davis's 3-point percentage. His shooting percentage in the SEC is 323. And that goes along with 871 at the foul line, right? I mean,
he shoots free
throw
throws
shooting
plays,
you're getting.
he shoots free throws and plays defense. It's like, just bro. I mean, come on, man. If you're shooting at a 26% clip, you got to try to do other things. And some of that, like that 1 of 7 he had, I don't think he shot a single free throw. That's the other thing. It's like, bro, get to the foul line.
Where there are a couple air balls mixed in there too. Yeah, that's a mental thing here, and it feels like I know he's been battling a wrist. But if you had a 3-game stretch like he had a couple weeks ago, and you're back to this, it's purely mental, because he's a much better shooter than he's been showing. Yeah, and I wonder about flying out tomorrow while women's basketball heads to South Carolina. So they've got to change their travel plans a little bit. Hey, I forgot to mention this. Congratulations to Bree Ellis from Arkansas softball. She's been named the Division I Player of the Week in softball. So softball continues to kick butt. Robin Herron, congratulations on a no-hitter. I think there have been 14 no-hitters thrown all time in program history. So the bat and ball sports are doing very, very well. All right, we're back with you tomorrow for another award-winning edition of Halftime. It's been fun getting back to doing radio, guys, after all these few days. Our first show since Thursday went swimmingly. Yes, I think that's well said. Just one very quiet, very quick for getting back on the air. That's right. Thank you very much. For Matt Jones, Christian Johnston, I'm Phil Elson. We will be back with you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your day and be safe if you got to travel outside. Get up, get out, and get better.